Let's see. Can you guys hear me okay? Am I coming in clear? This is a great subject. Big says start, restart, and start again. Third time's a charm. Braden, hello. KB Barbecue says, is this where the party's at? In about an hour, sure. Let's see. Hi guys, what's up? Jimmy, B says, what's up, brother? Okay. I will be right back. I'm going to get a beer and extra drink. I'll be right back. Not my truck. All right. So, man. How's everybody doing this evening? Some of us took, one of us just took a nap. And my wife just woke me up. Thank goodness. I almost slept. All right. Doing good? Good to see you. Yeah. Trying to get this pork belly done. What are you doing to the pork belly, B? Jimmy says, short night tonight. Back-to-back 12s, yeah. Shoot, I know how that goes. Papa Larry, what's going on with you, man? How's it going? Making bacon, yeah. Nice, Jody. Jody said he just did some baby backs. All right. Nice. Ooh. Again, this one took a nice nap. Grumpus, how you doing? Alright, some baby backs on the big green egg. That sounds good. Kurt says, hey, yo, what's happening? Just eating leftover brisket from Easter. I actually didn't have any leftover brisket. I gave what I had left over to a subscriber. Came through to Baltimore, and I was like, oh man, it was his birthday weekend. I said, here you go, you can have it. So, Grumpus is here. All right. Ha. Jimmy, man, you didn't say nothing but a word. Matt accuses, I would have come and gotten it. Kirk said, I did some salmon, tuna, and shrimp kebabs on the UDS. Came out amazing. That's what's up. Nice. B said, I got my stickers and labels in today. Whoa. So then you should have had some go out today, too. Definitely. My P.O. box, the address is always in the description of the videos there. Grumble City did a brisket on Saturday. Well, I did a brisket Saturday night into Sunday morning. It was a bigger brisket than I really wanted to cook. It was an 18-pound brisket, and my orders were only I had 2 3-pound orders a piece, and then what was left over, it was about another 3 pounds. Like I said, a subscriber came down in Baltimore, and he was like, "Oh man, I just want to watch you cook." I'm like, "All right." So linked up, and he came through. And before he left, I was like, "Here, happy birthday. Here's some brisket." All right, so Medic says his brisket is on now. He said it just hit 166 degrees. That's what's up. You're on your way. Jimmy says, let's start by hitting the thumbs up. If you haven't already hit that thumbs up button for me, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could. It really, really does make me feel better about doing these videos. It helps the videos themselves, and then it also helps my channel. So if you haven't already done that, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could do that. KB said, I did nothing. I was on staycation. You know what? I got something for that one, KB. There's nothing wrong with that. Woo-hoo. Mm. Urban Culture Kitchen. How you doing? He says, sup, big bro? B said I did a beautiful brisket last night. Testing the ink birds. I saw pictures on Instagram about those. Or about that. Urban Culture Kitchen says, what's up, night fam? Nothing much, nothing much. Just chilling. KB says, cheers. Wild Cascadian Radio says, my comment is not showing. Probably because you put a link in your comment, if I had to guess. Jody says, I looked through your videos. Do you have any tips on a whole brisket on the egg? I do not, because I've never done a whole brisket on the egg. The I won't say problem, but I have cookers that I can cook brisket on better, in my opinion, than I could on the Big Green Egg. So I've never done a whole brisket on the Big Green Egg. Now, also, what size Big Green Egg do you have? Because that's gonna play into your ability to cook on the Big Green Egg. I have an extra large Big Green Egg, and again, I know people can have done briskets on the Big Green Egg. When I cook, like do a long cook on the Big Green Egg, I feel like the greases and the fat, the greases from whatever the meat is, they hit the diverter plate and they burn, and I don't like that. So what I've found is that I use a water pan underneath whatever it is I'm cooking, and I've also found that for longer cooks, I'd rather do them on other. I'd rather use the ugly drum or one of my other smokers because I have that available to me. I know not everybody has multiple cookers and able to cook on it. Yeah. But unfortunately, that's another part of why I've never done a brisket on a Big Green Egg. Jimmy says, back in the day, we used to drink light to sober up before we went home. Yeah. My A1C thanks me for drinking this, though. I actually went to the doctor. Some of you guys don't understand this. My A1C is down to 6. So, yeah, I gotta keep, drinking the lights. Trust me. Guns and Barbecue. He says, howdy, Dash. This many. He says, how many fingers am I holding up? Yep, I know. Dude, this is thanks, man. Large Big Green Egg. Brisket is too expensive to screw up. Yeah, Jody, I have other, like, I would do a small brisket in the Weber kettle. Or small, when I say small, I'm thinking like between 10 to 12 pounds maybe. In the Weber kettle with like the slow and sear before I want to do a brisket in the Big Green Egg. Sorry, my back is itching. Because the grease and the juices and things like that, then when they hit that diverter plate, they burn, and the burnt grease smell and taste. I'm just not a fan of it. So I found that if I'm doing things in the Big Green Egg, I have to use a water pan. And with using a water pan, sometimes, like especially a brisket, it's too big to fit over a water pan. It's the whole thing. And I know that I have something that I can use that'll work better in doing the brisket. What's going on, Kent? How you doing this evening? Hope we got to show Kent sticker since he is here, and Kurt is here, Jimmy is here. Let's see. I think that's it. And then my cup is somewhere else, and I don't have. Oh, but Grumpus was here, so Grumpus, I'm going to use Grumpus's cup holder tonight. Yeah. All right, so let's get this party started. Talking about starting. Oh, thanks. Thank you very much. My wife hooked me up. She gave me my cup with my Grumpus sticker on it. Okay. So now I have some water too. Okay, let's see. Nice. He said Rob contacted him the other day, invited him to be on a hot seat on the 15th. Now I just have to remember to try to be able to be up and awake on the 15th with a hot seat. Thursday nights are usually like my go to sleep early night because I am up late on Wednesdays and I work late on Thursdays. Do you have a performance for point of sale? Do you have a preference for point of sale? Is more my question. Okay, so while Cascadia, personally, I'm a big fan of PayPal here. I've used Square. I have not, or I'm not big enough yet to use Clover or some of the other like the POS systems. I've used PayPal here, and I haven't used it as much lately to swipe cards because my phone no longer has an audio jack and all of those things. So I need to get a insert like a chip card reader, but I don't do that many of those types of sales. What I end up doing is sending people invoices. So through PayPal, I use the between PayPal and PayPal here, I send folks invoices via email, and that is how I do my invoicing and things like my billing, more or less. Excuse me. Urban Culture Kitchen said I smoked up a 15-pound brisket. That's what's up. How'd it turn out? And he's in Kansas City. Yeah, thanks. Jimmy's like, what? Papa Bear's Kitchen. What's going on, Justin? How you doing? Grumpus is sweet. He gets it. Prepping for my comp this weekend. That's what's up, Kent. Well, good luck. Laura, hello. She says, hey, Dash and all. B says, I love my Clover. Nice. Going to listen to cooking supper for tomorrow. Well, that's nice. You meal prepping? What are you cooking, Laura? What? Well, you know what? What's cooking, Laura? What's cooking, literally? All right. So here we go. I know that there are a lot of folks out there who are interested in trying to figure out or trying to understand, trying to decipher how to get started. Okay. And when you get started, a plethora of different ways. I got started one way, and you could have gotten started another way, and somebody else could get started another way. But when you kind of start funneling down, and you get to the point where you're like, you know what, I could get paid for this. That's when you kind of have to realize that, all right, now I kind of have to figure some things out. And it's unfortunate that there is no single path to getting catering or getting started catering. There's no single path to any of this. It really is one of those kind of guess and check type things where it's like, all right, I've done this. Okay, I've done that. Okay, oh wait, yeah, I can do that. And that's when you kind of have to say, all right, now I need to start charging folks for what it is I'm doing. If you're like that person that is cooking for friends and family all the time and cooking for, word of mouth, if somebody says, oh, hey, this guy does good ribs, or hey, this guy does good this, or good that, then maybe you can get paid for this. And then once you start getting paid for this, that's when you kind of have to realize that there's a paradigm shift, more or less. Let's see, onion and steak gravy to go over something. That's what's up. What's going on, Luke Calamatas? How you doing this evening? So, what up, Dash? How you doing this evening? I am great, sir. Thank you so very much for hanging out and checking in. Step 1, watch all the Dash videos. Step 2, build a pit. Step 3, get paid. That's like those the memes back in the day where it was like in Mother Russia, but I like that. I like that a lot. He says, step 1, watch all of my videos. Well, dang. He says, step 2, build yourself a pit. All right. Step 3, profit or get paid. But yeah, those memes back in the day were like in Mother Russia, or step 1, do this. Step 2, do that. Step 3, profit. Yeah. Let's see. Lou says, this live stream makes me realize how fast the week goes. Man. You know what makes me realize how fast the week goes? When I have to go from Friday to Monday. And I got to get up at 4:30 on a Monday morning to go into work. And it's like, I would go get up in every day, but there's some days when I don't go into my office. And there are days when I do. And oh my gosh, man, the difference between those days sometimes can get, yeah, it's crazy. All right. So getting started, we're trying to stay on topic here about getting started. How did you get started, Lou? How did you get started? Are you still doing the point where, or at the point where you're still like word of mouth and friends, and friends of friends are getting you to cook for them? Kent, I know you're out there doing some barbecue. How did you get started? Jimmy, how did you get started? On Point says you're going to be at the New Holland next month for SCA. I cannot guarantee it. I have to check the dates, but I mean, I still feel like I suck at the SCA. Like those of you guys who are in SCA, like you guys are in a little too deep and deeper than I would like to be. I was just doing it kind of for fun, but it's competition, and I don't like that feeling of not, I would like to win, and I don't like that feeling of not winning. And man, just, I think I would love to go, but we'll see. I gotta check the dates. I have some things that are like pending, and I got a lot of stuff going on in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Man, oh man. So hold on, guys. How did you guys get started? How did you guys get to the point where you turn the corner and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna get paid for this. I know there's a couple of you guys out there, Popularity, KB, On Point Barbecue. Did you guys turn the corner, and are you guys doing competition stuff, or have you turned the corner and you started to get to the point where you get paid? Now I know, Kent, I know you getting paid. Jimmy says I cook for someone with a big mouth, and next thing I knew, I had people asking me to cook for them. Well, Jimmy, that's a gift and a curse, man. That's for sure. He said I cook for somebody with a big mouth. Well, as long as they were selling people the right things, and I've said it before. People always say, "Well, how do you sell your food?" The food is going to sell itself. If it's good enough, it's going to sell itself. People are going to tell other folks about it. Will's Chasing History says, "Do any of you folks sell barbecue at fairs? How did you start that?" So that's one thing. Well, I want to say I would love to get into doing that, but I know in the state of Maryland it is tough. There are so many things, and the things that I need to do and accomplish to get to that point in Maryland, I definitely would have to have a vehicle, be it a trailer or a brick and mortar. Unfortunately, it's just not something that I can do from my house. Right now, the word of mouth cooking and the small event catering, I'm kind of getting it done, but I need to, to get to the next step. Let's see. Kent said I got started by doing a wedding for a friend's son, and it went from there with catering. Yep. Lou says mainly word of mouth, friends of friends. I did one for my fantasy draft a couple years ago and got some business with that. Made a simple business card, but I still consider myself a complete novice. Yeah. But you know what? You know what, Lou? You bring up a very valid point. If you want to be able to tell someone you have a business or you have something going on, you need to be able to give them something tangible. You have to be able to give them a business card. And to me, when I got started, that was one of the first things I did. Excuse me. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, and I said I went and Vistaprint. I've been using Vistaprint for my business cards since 2014. It's 2021, and I order business cards from Vistaprint. I order them at this point. I order business cards from Vistaprint at like 200 to 2,500, a pop, 2,500 business cards a pop. And in the beginning, when I was like, oh man, like business cards, they would cost you 10, 12 cents each. It'd be like, oh man, you know what? I'm gonna I'm going to I'm gonna order 500 cards, and I would have 500 cards, and it took me a year to get rid of 500 cards, and then the next year I would order 1,000 cards. Now, mind you, it wouldn't just be the next year; it would be the next iteration of my business cards. My first business cards, oh man, they were pretty bad. It was and I've talked about it in a previous video. It was a picture of my ugly drum, the number one drum on the side of my house, well, in front of my house, and like the smoke coming off of it, and it was basic. It said the business name, all right. It had the picture, it had my phone number, it had contact information, so email and my website address, and then it said what it is that I did. Okay, and boom, that was it. And for you know how much the business cards cost me? It was 500 cards. It might have cost me $40, $50, absolute most, and I got 500 cards or so, and I was happy with that. And I was giving out cards, and I'm like, hey, I have some business cards, and when people would talk and tell people about me, I'm like, hey, here's a couple of business cards, tell someone else, and that was how it snowballed. And whenever I was like, when I did the word of mouth thing and folks were buying food from me off of Instagram, I had something to hand them. So that I would say, hey, if you like what you have, do me a favor, do me a solid, take a picture. And a lot of people would be taking pictures with their food, and they'd put my business card right there. So my contact information was right there. Boom. Then the next person would find me, follow me on Instagram, place orders, and that's kind of how the ball got rolling with me selling food via Instagram. And I've pulled back from selling food via Instagram just honestly because it's been it's a hassle, and I wanted to focus more on the catering aspect as opposed to the cooking, having food available, trying to sell food to people who might not necessarily be, might not want that food for the particular day. So Jimmy says the hard part is not doing it for almost nothing. Yeah, one of the things that you have to really, really understand is you're not at this to cook for favors. You have time invested, you have energy, you have knowledge invested, and that's worth something. So don't sell yourself short, and you should get paid for that. Guns and Barbecue says I was cooking already for friends and family. Then they told me I should sell it. Then word of mouth is how it spread for him. Yes, indeed. I know how that goes. Justin said I pick a date that I'm going to cook. Maybe make flyers and Instagram, Facebook posts. Text family, friends, and coworkers. Take orders until I sell out. Then cook for pickups and Dells. Oh, deliveries. Hope to do event catering also. You know what, Justin? That's perfect, and that's a great way to start out. I just, I'm nothing wrong with that. I'm past that point where I'd much rather focus on catering. I used to cook and do all of those things. I'm just, I won't say burnt out about it, but I'm past that now. But that is a great way to start. And you have to start somewhere, and that's how you get your name out there, and that's how you get people to know who you are, and that's how you build up your clientele so that people will come to you and say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z on this particular date. And you're like, okay, sure, no problem. I don't want to just sell food basically out of the trunk of the car any longer. So B says, I was living in Thailand and started smoking for friends. The next thing I knew, there was a line of people waiting. Wife turned me into a business there. She pimped you out, huh, B? Uh, Lou says, yeah, made 2 briskets for my buddy's daughter's party, and his dad asked if I had a card. And I said, you know what? I don't, but I should. So I did. Boom. There you go. And just so many people who discount the fact of having a business card. I tell you, my business card has come in handy for when I'm doing barbecue, when people see me out on the street, and I wear not 24/7, but I wear something that has my company name on it all the time. My license plate on my vehicle, on my car, says BRBQUE. My license plate on my van says SDSBBQ. You can see people. If you have a vanity plate, right eye down below, if you have a vanity plate on your vehicle and you can see people reading your vanity plate, or you can see people reading what you have on your shirt, if it's something catchy, if it's something, odd. I used to have a shirt, well, I still have it, but I don't wear it as much as I used to. But it says, once you put my meat in your mouth, you're going to want to swallow, right? And you can see people reading the shirt, and some people would be like, some people saw that there was a grill and somebody standing at the grill and cooking on it. And they'd be like, "Oh, okay." They put one and one together. Like, oh, it's talking about barbecue. Other people would be like, "Oh, that's nasty," or like you could see the reaction where they would just turn, like their faces would turn. But it was always a segue. It was always something for me to be able to say, "Boom, hey, I do barbecue." That explains my shirt. And then a lot of people would be like, "Oh, okay, I get it now." But that's the thing. Like sometimes you have to have those. Like barbecue is full of innuendo for sure, and I have zero problem playing that card. You guys see me. You see I'm pretty personable, and I have no problem. Like, oh, boom, yeah. Your girl wants my meat. I'm gonna order some more. So, but I made sure I followed it up with boom. Here's a business card. I'm not just the dirty old man. I'm I'm not this. I have this on for a reason, and it's because of the fact that I do barbecue. So B says, when I moved back to Texas, it's been an entirely different beast. Yeah, I can imagine. Uh, Brisket or barbecue in Texas it's a whole nother animal. So, what you were doing in Thailand versus what you're doing in Texas, I'm sure is different. Marcus says, "Hola, everyone," or excuse me, "Aloha, everyone." Yeah, I guess the one Miller Lite. I can't read different languages. Mumpy said, "What up, Dash family? Then friends." Okay, he says, "What up, Dash family? Then friends is how I started." Uh, Leslie says, "I got your salsa." My salsa. John from 4J says, "Hey, yo, Dash." B said, "Opening stand has been a huge shot in the arm even since we closed it." Well, I can imagine, B. You'd be one of those folks that I would love, love, love to like chop it up. Um, Bumpy said, "I watched her how to sell food on Instagram and it helped a lot." Darian, what's up, man? How you doing? He says, "Hey, yo." B said, "I need business card," or excuse me, Justin said, "I need business cards, but I got stuck designing. Either too much info or not enough." Okay, Justin, the one thing that does not need to go on your business cards is your name. That allows for extra space on your cards. And when people say, "Oh, your name's not on it," and I say, "That's on purpose. I want you to call me. If you want, if you're interested, you need to call me and find out what my name is." But my name is not on my business cards. And I mean, it is by design because I'm saving space. And you know what? Let's talk about it. Hold on. I'm going to go get one of my business cards so you can see. All right. So I know Justin. Justin is a Patreon supporter, and he's asked me specifically about business cards and flyers and things like that. So I'm going to be doing a video on business cards soon. Soon. It's just one of those things where I have to find the ability to do the video at home. And tomorrow's video is going to be it's about vacuum sealing food because I was vacuum sealing some food. Okay, so here we go, Justin. I don't know if you want to kind of not fast forward or pause the video at this point so you can see. But you see, I have my company name, my logo, and then I have a, not fun little, but I have an anecdote, and I'm hoping this. There we go. If I move my face out of the way, I have purveyor of fine smoked meats. I have my website there. And for orders or for information, there's my contact information. And then what I did was I used to have it used to be like the Facebook page, actually, I believe. Well, I know it always had my Instagram on there, but because of the fact that I've gotten bigger on YouTube since I've started, I put my YouTube contact information, which takes you out to my YouTube page. Then there is my Instagram information and my email address. Okay. And at the bottom, it says all you do is order and eat. That was my, between the purveyor of fine smoked meats and all you do is order and eat were like the slogans back in the day that I started with. Okay. So that's the front of the card. Now on the back of the card, I'm gonna tell you what it is I do. Now you guys have been who have been around for a while, and I'm trying to cover up, my face there so it focuses on the card. Beef brisket, beef ribs, pulled pork, baby back ribs, chicken wings, pulled chicken, lamb, salmon, and much more. I'm telling people what it is I'm doing, okay? In a nutshell. Next thing, it says catering and on-site grilling available. Yep. And then the next thing, it says see what's cooking. Follow us on Instagram at Steel Drum Smokers. And then, of course, again, the YouTube contact information. And I also have like us on Facebook, and there's my Facebook information. And again, all you do is order and eat. Now, the whole thing was I wanted to cram as much information as I could on this thing, on this card. Now, one of the things, again, I told you, Justin, I don't have on here is my name. I don't need my name on there. I want my business name. I want my logo. Okay. You see that takes up almost 50% of the card itself, because that's what I want you to remember. I want you to remember the name of my business and my logo. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't realize that the logo is actually cut off because the full logo is the full bull standing. Okay. And you can't see that in you can't see that on my YouTube channel. You can't see that on my business cards, but you get the idea. You have to, I'm going to say sacrifice, but you have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Okay. So, but that was, that's my business card. Okay. Now what's going to work for you is going to be a little bit different. Now, one of the other things too that you notice about my cards, they're vertical. And I wanted to be different. I wanted to stand out. I didn't want it to be this regular, card like this. And also, I have stuff on the back of this card. The reason why I have stuff on the back of this card is because I wanted to make sure that you weren't just going to write on this card and it become a notepad or a napkin, basically, for you to write anything on it and then put it in your pocket or take it out of your pocket because you wrote an important note on it, or you have to do something and you give it to someone else. Nah. So that's why I made sure that my cards have stuff on it front and back. So let's see. Let's get caught up on I'm about 5 minutes behind on the chat. So let's get caught up. B said, I always self-advertise, wear your shirts out, signage on vehicles, everything. Yes. Jimmy says, okay, guys, let's pump up the thumbs up. 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 Yeah. B said, my business cards are basic, logo on one side, contact on the other. Okay. Rick, how you doing? He says, hello, 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 hello. What's going on? Alton, you missed it. There you go. What's going on, Alton? Always close by. B said flyers are a must as well. Most local places will let you place your flyers at their places. Yep. No problem, Justin. Ever add a smoke scent to your car? No. You know what? Somebody asked me about that not too long ago, as far as like scenting things, and I was like, nah, not really. Like, I think that's kind of gimmicky. More often than not, to be completely honest, where there are times when I smell like smoke enough, where I don't have to necessarily, put smoke on my business cards. But that is funny that you say that. Yeah, he's a beast. So that's an idea. Cold smoke them. So one of the things too, like, and I don't have, I have on a pair of sweatpants, not my outside pants, but I have a business card holder, and it's like a leather folding holder, and I put. Well, now I'm talking about it. Let me grab it. I feel like I'm horribly prepared tonight when I'm talking about my business cards and don't have these things readily available. So this is what I have, and I'll be honest with you guys. For probably 4 or 5 years, the business card holder that I had was a piece of, it wasn't a piece of cardboard, but basically it was like a folder, like a manila folder, that I put some duct tape on, and I made a little sheath to put cards in, and I carried that in my pocket for a very, very long time, until I found this on Instagram, or excuse me, on Amazon, and it's just a simple ID slash business card holder, and I usually carry. So if you guys can see, those are my business cards. Those are business cards I've gotten from other folks. And we got to shout out. I keep this one close. Okay, Alton. All right. We have Chef Johnny. I keep that one close. Wayne Mueller from Louis Mueller's Barbecue. All right. And then I have some other cards from folks that I've gotten recently. So yeah, but those are the cards that I keep close, and I cycle the majority of my cards in and out of my little pouch here. But out of all of the cards that I have, these are cards that I've gotten, and these are cards that are mine that I give away. And I can give away all of these cards in a day. All of them. Now, this is, I'm going to put this all together. So these are the cards, and they go in here like so. And if you see me out and about, you see, boom, I have these cards. Now, I can fit more cards in here, okay? I don't have it full, and I theoretically should keep a card in here, and then I know, but there's the worst thing is when I give out my last card. But what I do is I have a box of cards that I walk past when I'm walking out the door. So if I'm walking out the door for an event, or if I'm walking out the door for a delivery, last thing I do before I walk out the door is I check my pocket, I check my card pouch and say, hey, do I have, is it thick like this, or am I running out of cards? And I put cards into my that before I walk out of the door. Look, Grumpus says shamelessly promote yourself at every opportunity. Yes, indeed. Jimmy said, I'm honored to be next to Alton on the cup. Yes. Victor says, howdy Dash, Alton, Grumpus, Cypress Blue, and everyone else. It's party time. B said, that's almost exactly what I have for my cards. Nice. Sonny, what's going on? Sonny is the subscriber that I was talking about that stopped by and got brisket from me. I told you he stopped by and we actually cooked. He helped me get the brisket started. And, I stayed up the rest of the night and got the brisket done. Once the brisket was done, I, took it to, I had 2 deliveries or 2 drop-offs. And then I took some brisket to him. He was a ways away from my house, Sonny. But he was a ways away, and I took him some brisket. So hopefully his brisket was okay. By the time he took it home and got it and ate it, I didn't hear back from him. But he's not dead, which means I did okay. It's like my first you know inclination is like, but did you die? Um, Rick said, "Dang, I don't even have one of those chef's cards." Oh, well, Rick, I met Chef Johnny when I was down in Texas last year, and it's like one of those deals where it's like, well, if I ever need to reach out, I have his number and I keep it close. What's going on, Sonny? Da, 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 da. All right. Well, Sonny says the brisket was delicious. Nice. I was expecting to hear back from you so I could give you the reheating instructions. But I guess you got it. You figured it out, which is great. Let's see. B says I always carry refills in the truck and the wife carries a stack. Yeah, so I find that I used to keep some cards, like a stack of business cards, in my wife's vehicle, but I also have a box of, and they come in boxes of like 500, I believe it's 250, maybe 250, 500 cards in those packs. I think it's 250 now. I'm thinking about it. But I used to keep one of those in the trunk of my car. So if I'm at an event, if I'm at a space, if I'm dropping food off, I could reach in to the stash in the car, in the trunk of the car, and I could pull them from there, and I wouldn't be taking the ones out of my pocket. But there's something to be said, and I tell you guys, I pass out my business cards like confetti. People always want to give me. I give out 2 or 3 cards minimum. Minimum, am I giving out 2 to 3 cards? Okay. People always say when I give people at least 2 cards, like if I'm running low, hey, look, I only have 2 cards to give you. I'm like, two, I only need one. I'm like, nah, no, you don't. You need one for yourself, and you need one to give it to someone else. And they be like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. And I always, 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 I never give out one. I always give out at least 2 business cards. Like, there's sometimes when I go to different places or different people, and I'm trying to think, I was talking to someone. Where was I? And he was like, "Oh man, I was at there's a snowball place. So it's kind of like water ice, but like a snow cone, snowball place. And the girl behind the counter, lady's name is Kelly, right? Kelly knows I do barbecue. We've talked about it in the past. And she said, "Oh, have you ever had this particular barbecue?" And I was like, I have. Not really a fan, blah, blah, blah. And she said, "My husband bought some brisket. She bought a brisket sandwich." He was like, "But he was so upset because it was nothing but fat." And I'm like, I said, "Around here, you have to trim your brisket a little more aggressively, and people get lazy and they don't do that. And then people are turned off by the fact that there's so much fat on their sandwich or whatever it is that they're going to eat. And around here in Maryland, people don't accept the fact that brisket is fatty. They want brisket because some people know brisket, and then it's like, I know, like some people are okay with it, other people are not. And her husband was one of those that was like, I'm not. She said, I told him, I talked to him about you because I know you do barbecue. She said, but I didn't have any more of your business cards. She's like, I give them out to people. When people talk about barbecue or talk about this or talk about that, I'm like, I know a guy. Here's his business card. I'm like, thank you. That's exactly what I need, right? So, but the whole thing was, I gave her like a dozen cards yesterday, and I was like, here, keep 1 or 2 for yourself. But ultimately, here's my business card. Please continue to hand it out to other folks. Let's see. Grumpus says I leave a business card clipped to a pen, clipped on my tip. Oh, at every bar I attend, that pen will get handed to other customers to use when they pay their tab. Lots of eyes on it. He says it costs them $1. So I tell you something funny about that, Grumpus. There is a famous, now if you have been, I don't know about recently, but if you have been in and or around Baltimore in restaurants, in bars, there is a famous bail bonds company that gives pens to all of the restaurants in the area. And you go someplace and boom, that's what you see. It's like a pink and yellow pen or a pink and blue pen or something, but it's pink and some other color. and it's advertising for a bail bondsman. And I was like, yo, that is genius. So though I'm not to the point where I can give out pens to people, but I do give business cards. And I haven't also just started like randomly leaving my pens and business cards around different places. I usually try to give them to people with a purpose or on purpose. Justin said, is there somewhere folks in here can share pics of their cards, flyers with us, all maybe on a community tab? So you can't share pictures and things like that on the community tab, but feel free to send me an email. My email address is mdsteele. So I was just gonna tell you, I just so happen to have a business card with my contact information on it, right? So there you go. I'm trying to get it to focus. mdsteeldrumsmokers@gmail.com. Send me pictures of your flyers. Send me pictures of your business cards. And then what I can do is when I shoot this video talking about business cards and flyers and other things like that, I can, we can cross-pollinate, all right? You let me know in your email whether or not you want me to blur or not show your phone number or anything like that. Tell me what you do want me to and don't want me to share. But I behoove you to say, share everything. Here's my location. This is where I am. This is where I set up. Here's my radius. Tell me what you want to do. Promote yourself. All right. So shoot me an email and I will get that in to send me an email with the picture of your flyer, with the picture of your business card. Promote yourself. Let me help you. Okay. And like I said, just like we're talking about it now, I hope to be able to talk about it in a video coming up. And that video is, I owe that video to Justin, but I wanted to talk to you guys because I feel like more often than not, when I talk to you guys give me like, you give me, you level set me. And I can say, okay, yes, this person does this, or yes, this person does that, or I can talk about you or you specifically in my video, and I know which direction I need to go. Jody gets it. So this is what I was laughing at a second ago. Jody says, in Mother Russia, Pitt smokes you. Yeah. So Justin said, fat is where it's at out here. I'm telling you, man, not everybody likes it. Not everybody likes it. Sonny says, all right, so he was telling me he was getting his floors refinished at his house. So I feel like I have to sneeze, but it's like one of those sneezes that's like just stuck in my nose, but it's not coming out. All right, well, not a problem, Sonny. Thanks, B. I got your message. B's one of those folks, he's got my number, so he's like, boom, here's the text. All right, so hopefully it didn't interrupt the stream. But B said, so when I say B is Brian, and Brian is Patriot Barbecue, okay? So B, he said his wife gets mad. So I'll hang around the briskets at HEB and talk to guys trying to pick a brisket. Dude, you know what's so funny? My wife and I were at Costco over the weekend, and I was talking to someone who was looking at the Louisiana grills, that red ceramic grill, and he was looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh man, I was like, okay, that's pretty decent. I was like, that's a pretty decent price. And he says, you know anything about this thing? I said, I don't. I know about ceramic grills and cookers. I said, I don't have one, but I thought of Alton. I know Alton has a Louisiana Grills ceramic cooker. And I said, I know someone that has one of these. I said, he likes it a lot. I said, and it comes with a decent amount of accessories and things like that. I said, I personally have a Big Green Egg. I said, my Big Green Egg, I said, it's more expensive and it comes with less stuff. I said, so this is good. Like, what you have here is good. So he's like, all right. And we talked about it for 5-10 minutes or so. And I mean, I don't know how likely he was to be able to, to get it. But and anyway, so he, he at least looked at it. So B, I understand. Same thing, I talk to people about brisket and ribs when I'm standing in the store or if I'm looking and I see someone pick something up and they're kind of hemming and hawing or I'm not sure. I throw in my 2 cents. So Carter, this is Carter from Southern Maryland. What's going on, man? How you doing? Guns and Barbecue says, how many of us are 100% legal? He said, I won't lie. My operation is a bit bootleg. So I'm a bit afraid of openly promoting, and I only get business through word of mouth. That's it right there. Okay. And I want to say that's one of the things that people don't talk about, but you have to, you wonder why, and it's coincidental. My shirts are gray, okay, and I was making fun about this, but it's very very it's convenient. I operate in a gray area. I do, and Guns and Barbecue, you bring up a very 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 valid point. Not a lot of us are 100% legal, and in order to start out, you have to operate in the gray area until you get to the point where boom, you can take that next, that next leap, that evolution of faith, more or less. Crimson Creek says, "Evening, everyone." Again, he probably passed out, fell asleep, woke back up, logged into the other, the other account he has. B said, "I'm 100% legal. Doesn't mean I don't do some shady stuff." Marcus said, same amount of folks that have some questionable pew pew sticks. Yes, indeed. Sure, yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Maryland and pew pews, just, ooh, goodness gracious. Let me just say, talk about some invisible roadblocks. When we go shopping, I change into the work shirts. Yes, indeed. B, but you know what? See, it's one of those things where I feel, I don't want to say naked, but my wife used to give me grief about, she's like, oh, you have your uniform on. My uniform consisted of a t-shirt with my barbecue, with my business name on it, and like some khakis or whatever. And that's what I wore almost 24/7, all the time. That was it. And I tell people, look, I'm as big as I am. I'm gonna be my biggest billboard. Okay, I'm gonna promote me. So when I go out and I don't have on one of my shirts, I feel like I feel a little naked. Marcus said, nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Rick says, you mean I need a permit? Oh man, Sonny, that's what's up. Thank you. Justin said, I have everything except health permit. Every corner in LA is an illegal taco cart. He said, so I'm not too worried. B says, my wife is the same. Yeah, definitely understand. I'm like, she used to give me grief about it, but I'm like, yes, I do have on my uniform. Like, yes, I do. And but I tell you, it's crazy. I was in the middle of a Bed Bath and Beyond, and this lady stopped me, and actually, she did order food from me. She stopped me and she said, "Oh, barbecue." She said, "Where's that place?" I said, "Well, I am wherever you want me to be," and that's exactly how I respond to everyone when they see and they ask me where it is. I am wherever you want me to be. I said, I deliver wherever. And she's like, really? She said, oh, so that's your company? I said, yes. She said, well, can I take a picture of it? I'm like, sure. And I let her take a picture of it, and then I handed her some business cards. Okay, I'm not going to say, oh no, don't take a picture. I have some business cards. No. Go ahead, here, take a picture of my shirt. All right, I'm like, give my good side. One of those type thing make a joke about it, and then I give her the business cards in addition to her taking those pictures, and she did order some food. So that was pretty much that. It helps sometimes to promote yourself, to have what it is you have going on, or what it is you're cooking, or what you're doing. And the thing that I did on my original shirts was my original shirts look very similar to this. If you guys have seen my older videos where you see the name of my company, the Still Drum Smokers, and the Purveyor of Fine Smoked Meats, my phone number, my contact information, and all you do is order and eat on the front of the shirt, and on the back of the shirt, it looks exactly like this. It says exactly the things that I do, catering and on-site grilling available, and then where else you can find me. That's my shirts. My business shirts are my business card, just in real life. So, and excuse me, these shirts that I wear more often nowadays only have my business name and my YouTube and my Instagram contact information, because I really didn't feel comfortable selling you guys shirts. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that. He said, bless you. No one else did. My wife was just walking past and she was like, so anyway, But yes, you definitely have to. Yeah, you have to promote yourself. You have to. B says I've got 20 barbecue shirts and 14 pairs of work shorts. Nice. It's not like I'm wearing dirty underwear. Yeah. Victor says I like your dress shirt. I think it was a nice polo, or it was a polo. It's nice, yes indeed. Thanks, Marcus. I definitely appreciate you. But yes, so those are what I deliver food in. Those polos, the red and black polos, and Sonny took a picture of me, or with me over the weekend, and he even commented on the shirts. He's like, "Oh man, those are nice." So I have to take a moment and thank Jamie and also Marcus from Crimson Creek for hooking me up with the ability to get those shirts. So big shout out, and try to remember who helped me out with that. Let's see. So conscientious is reward outweighs the risk of getting caught. Caught openly putting yourself operation in the public eye. It's not one of those things where I won't say I know better, but I definitely don't put myself out there. I limit the exposure. Let's put it that way. If Dad barbecue shoes, aka New Balance, part of the uniform. No, I do not own a pair of New Balances. I do not own those. The I know exactly which New Balances you're talking about. I used to remember the model number of the New Balances, but no, nor are the dad Nike shoes. I can't. I'm not there yet. Like, nope, not there yet. B says I wear flip flops. Yep, Bumpy said the 996. Nope, I can't do it, Bumpy. I can't do it. Like, so Marcus said it. It's talking about things that you can and can't do. He said it also depends on what state or county in any particular state. So yeah. Justin says Costco shoes, and Bumpy also put the 993s. Yeah, so I just can't do it. Like, the only New Balances I would probably get are I think they're 529s, the 529, 479, whatever the basic, old school running shoe. That was it. And in like an all black or like the gray and white. That's it. That's my extent. Sean R says, "What up? What up? Chilling, man. Chilling. We are almost through the first hour of the talk on the live stream, and man, I just want to tell you. Hold on, I'm getting a little warm here. I'm gonna open up the window and let some air in. Unfortunate thing about letting air in is it's going a little more noise is coming in too. V said, when I had my stand, I would be wearing my flip-flops during our health inspection. They never said a word. Oh my gosh, man. Marcus says rules for Hayes County versus Travis County are night and day difference, and they share the same ETJ. What is the ETJ? Spell it out for me, Marcus. Dumb it down for me, if you will. Justin says, so since we talked about being legal, do we talk about taxes, or is that like Fight Club? What's funny? Yeah, we're not there yet. How about that, Justin? We're not there yet. Yeah, I'm not there yet. I don't want to get myself into deeper, muddier waters than I need to at the moment, if you will. B says we don't talk about cash sales. External territorial jurisdiction. Okay. Huh. Nice. Oh, well, Marcus, we're going to have a conversation. Yo, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to be in Texas at the end of this month, early next month. And I'm going to spend some time in Texas. And I'm going to be hanging out with Marcus So I'll be hanging out with Marcus and be helping him out doing a charity event. But nonetheless, I'm gonna spend some time down there in Texas. And I thought that I was going to be 1 second. Yes.
Do you want to mute? Well, actually, it's probably not important. Joe's dad said he needed you, so I give him your phone number. It's probably for a cook or something.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know I didn't.
Thank you. Business is always important. It's just a matter of time, the right time and place. So it's all right, you know. I'd rather you make me money than cost me money. How about that? Marcus says Austin is also in 4 other counties. Okay, I didn't realize. Well, I knew Travis County, I believe, but I didn't realize Austin was geographically that big, where it's in multiple counties. There's a city in Maryland, Laurel, that's in 3 different counties. So it's in Howard County, Anne Arundel County, and Montgomery County. I think that's what it is. It's in Montgomery County as well. Let me know. We're planning a trip up there. Nice, B. Well, we will definitely talk about it. I get me some catfish and hush puppies. Well, you know, I'm going to keep you guys posted, and you guys here on the live stream will know before folks do on the regular videos. So if you are here on the live stream, you have a leg up on everyone else. Laura says she's back with a cup of her beef stock. Sigh. That's what's up. Yeah, so I'm going to be coming to Texas, and I'm going to be coming to Texas, and I'm going to be picking Marcus's brain, because he is ahead of where I want to be. He is where I want to be. Part of Texas, the Austin area, Grumpus. I know, you know. Uncle Steve says, when and where? Hello, Uncle Steve. How you doing? So it'll be towards the end of this month, early next month, Uncle Steve. I gotta get the dates together, but I actually talked to my manager today, and I was like, hey man, I'm planning on this trip, you know, just kind of letting you know, and where he Hi.
What's that face? Do people see this face you making? I
don't know. Everybody. Anyway, so I was talking to my manager about the fact that I was going to be going to Austin possibly, and he's like, "Oh man, I need to get some coverage for you, this, that, and the other." And I was like, "Well, you know, I could work half days." It's like I'll get up early in the morning and I'll work, you know, from 5 a.m. local time to 9 a.m. local time. I'm like, I'll do half a day. It's like that'll half, you know, 4 hours, 5 hours a day. I said that'll definitely keep me from having to it'll keep me from having to use up all of my vacation time, right? Yeah. So I think that might be the move, where I'm going to be accessible. So yes. Wild Bill's backyard barbecue says, what's up, Dash? No. Put them back in the refrigerator. Bees and Scrims and Green. Oh, we making plans now. Like I said, I hadn't firmed anything up, but I am getting closer, and I'm looking at dates, looking at travel dates and things like that. So I feel like, you know, we definitely we got to make this happen. I'm going to make it happen. So Sonny definitely he was at my house, and he tried to pick my brain last weekend, and I'm like, nah, bro, you know, I showed him some things, but I can't give you everything, man. I can't tell you all the secrets. Like, nah, I just know, man, I can't do that. But he was here for me trimming the brisket, and so I trimmed the brisket, I seasoned the brisket, and actually smoked the brisket. I cooked on Bernadette, and you know he was here for the struggle with Bernadette, and you know it was an experience. Let's put it that way. But we hung out, we had a good time. Yeah, Brian said that was funny. I saw his Instagram video, and like sure enough, he was like, "Oh man, I'm sitting there, I'm seasoning, I'm focused on cooking, you know, seasoning the brisket." And he's like, "Oh, you gonna tell me what's in it?" I'm like, "Nope." He's like, "Oh, you gonna do?" I'm like, I can't tell you. So Sonny said he had fun, and you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, I definitely don't mind helping, you know, and helping somebody level up. Just like you guys saw in the video from last week, uh, uh, Boogie, Boogie came to my house. Tony came to my house, and you know, I showed him how I slice up a brisket once it's done. And you can watch a video of it, but seeing it in person is just a whole different experience. And if you guys like, you saw his eyes being open to how it was done in that video, and it's just one of those things, you know, that it was an experience. And the same thing. And I really wish that I would have taken the time and pulled out the camera, but unfortunately, Sunday I was on the timetable, and I was trying to hurry up and get the brisket on the smoker because I was trying to get it done. So I didn't pull out the camera because I knew the camera would just add that much more time to what it was I was doing. So unfortunate as it may be, I didn't pull out the camera. Sonny was like, I was trying to be on video. I'm like, I'm sorry, brother. I'm like, not today. Not today. So I told him maybe next time. Anyway, so let's see. Those of you guys who are doing it, who are out there, you know, cooking barbecue, before we start talking about any and everything else, how did you get started? Okay, how did you get to the point where you're making some money or selling some food, or even if it's still like a part time. What is that? Can y'all hear that, Cam? I'm with it. Oh, that was a big old something cammed up. Sound like an LS. Nice. Like an old square body, something. So those of you guys who are out there and you're doing it, how did you guys get your start if you haven't already told me so? Just to try to help out some of the newbies or the novices that might be watching this video a little bit later before we kind of start talking about any and everything else. I know Bumpy's probably about to go to sleep. And Jimmy is probably already asleep because he said he had a couple 12-hour days. John, what's going on, John? How'd you get your start? It was Adam that made me jump. I was doing a little YouTube, and he gave me the push. All right, yeah. So B's talking about Adam from Adam the Welder, and I was about to say, oh, I have something, but I don't have anything from Adam on my cups and things like that. But Adam's Smoking Metals, it used to be What's Up Welders, but then he changed his channel name. John said I started with my job, okay. And I've done that too. I talked about that. So I got my start by cooking food for friends, and then I would take barbecue into work with me, and I'd have the break room smelling like heaven. And I'd have people like, yo, what is that? What are you eating over there, man? I made some chicken noodle soup with a chicken that I smoked. And when I say that smell permeated the break room, just how popcorn, you pop popcorn at work and it permeates everything, and then folks get mad because you got popcorn and you only got one bag of popcorn, you can't share the popcorn, or you have something that's off-putting and people let you know, like if you burn the popcorn, but if you have the popcorn, or excuse me, if you have something that smells horrible, they let you know. Same thing. When something smells good, man, I warm it up in the break room and fan that smell out. And then I would take the lid off, whatever it was, and walk the long way to my desk. So folks would be like, man, what is that smell? I'd hear people talking, what is that smell? And I'm like, oh, that's just some soup I made. What? What kind of soup is that? I'm like, oh, I smoked this chicken and then I tore it up and put it inside of my noodle soup. And they'd be like, man, how can I get some of that? Well, I can't necessarily say I can guarantee give you the soup, but I can give you the chicken. And actually, one of the guys that used to work in the building that with me, he used to join us for the live streams and on the videos. Unfortunately, I think he may have passed away because I haven't seen him in the videos. And one of the last bits and one of the last times I talked to him, he said he was actually sick and in the hospital. So, unfortunate as it may be, I won't say folks come and go, but I you guys who have been around for a while, I really do notice when you aren't here. Marcus said, I still can't do a camera. Well, we're gonna change that. You ain't gonna have no choice. John says, yes, yes, yes. The break room was humming. Brian said, I wish I could bottle the smell of barbecue into a cologne. I get so much business because of the smell. Yes, indeed. People smell it and they see the smoke. Yep, they're coming. Rick said, I'm back. I'm back, y'all. And I'm back, y'all. Yes, indeed. Welcome back, Rick. But that was the thing. And it really, like, seriously, I'd be eating beef ribs at my desk. I'd be eating brisket at my desk. And I'd have people around me. And I'm like, I didn't eat in the break room on purpose. I wanted to eat back at my desk so people could smell it. And then they would ask questions. And that was all by design so people would ask about it. And then, in the beginning when I was selling food, like I was working during the day, I would come home in the afternoon, I would go buy food, cook it halfway through the night, be up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. They have to get up at 5:30, and I'd be at work and I'd be cooking for folks, man. Brisket for folks at work, and beef ribs for folks at work, and pulled pork and ribs and other stuff like that, man. It was not sustainable, but I got it done, and that got me, to the point where I was selling food, and I got more comfortable selling food and everything like that. Jimmy said he got the Sony VZ1. He said it came today. Things are about to change, I hope. That's what's up. So, Jimmy, with that camera, and so the VZ1 is specifically set up for vlogging, which is great. But let me see. Oh, there's my camera. This is my B-roll camera. This is the old camera. So, and you guys, you can see my phone, okay, in the reflection of the. So one of the things about the VZ camera, I believe the screen folds out to the side. So Jimmy, you have to keep in mind, don't look at yourself, because when you're looking at yourself, like, so my camera is right here, right? Let's say my screen is over here, and if I'm looking over here, when I look at this is what you see. You see me looking at you, talking directly to you. But when I'm looking off to the side, it's a little disingenuous. It's a little weird when you see people doing that. But because of the fact that this camera has the screen right above it, I'm still looking at the plane. So whether I'm looking down at the bottom of the screen underneath the camera, or if I'm looking above it, it still looks like I'm looking directly at the camera. And it's just one of those things where, I won't say it's a preference thing, but it's just one of those things you kind of have to get used to. So Jimmy, I say all of that to say, just be mindful of where you look, and to look at the camera, look at the lens when you're filming and talking to the camera. I know you kind of introduce what you're doing, and you talk about what it is you're doing, and you wrap it up, one of those type deals. So you have to definitely just keep in mind, look at it. And it's going to be very difficult to not look at yourself. And when you look at yourself, because it's where the lens is, it's going to look a little weird. And you'll understand what I'm saying when you start to edit it. So just be mindful to look at the camera. Grumpus says, I just tell folks I have a wandering eye. Yeah, it's 2021, Grumpus. You can't be having a wandering eye nowadays. You get in trouble. B says, that's my problem. I'm working with my phone. It's off to the side. It's weird. I keep having to remember to keep looking at the lens. Yeah. One of the benefits about working at a barbecue store is live cooks. Yes, indeed, Rick. I can imagine. I definitely. Nothing wrong with that, So you double dipping more or less, because you're doing a live cook to cook like for lunch or something like that, and then you're posting those cooks on YouTube, and you doing your thing for sure. All right. B says Rick has a great Instagram channel. Yes, indeed. Guns and Barbecue says Dash. Look at the camera, huh? I will help. I will, I guess, keep an eye on that. Yeah. So it's an inside joke. Unless you guys have been around and know, Guns and Barbecue is visually impaired. So whenever I ask him, I'm like, "Hey man, how's it going? How many fingers am I holding up tonight?" You know, it's an inside joke, and it's one of those things where it's self-deprecation is a good thing. It can be a good thing. And you know, just every now and again he comments and he says something about, "I see what you did there." That's why. I'll let you guys in on a little inside joke. So, definitely when he comments on a video or on a live stream, "I see what you did there." It's like, did you really? Did you see what I did there? So I guess I said that I was going to try and do a much better job of describing things for my folks. There's at least 2 or 3 folks that I know who are visually impaired. And on my business card, so I'm holding up my business card again because we were talking about it earlier. So at the top of my business card, I have my company name, Steel Drum Smokers Barbecue. Then underneath that, and this is about, so at the top it's probably about 10%. Then where I have the top of my logo, it's probably about another 40% taken up, and it's my logo is a ugly drum smoker, which is a 55-gallon drum, and it has a dome like a kettle lid on it, and it has a bull. The bull has horns. He's standing vertically, and has got his arms crossed, and he's husk, right? He's muscular. Underneath that, I have my, a saying where it says purveyor of fine smoked meats. And then directly underneath that, I have the website, all right? www.steeldrumsmokers.com. Underneath that, I have where it says, it says for orders or info, and then I have my phone number. And then underneath that, I have my YouTube channel information, my Instagram information, as well as my email. And I'm sorry if this is focusing, hopefully it's focusing. There's my email. And then at the bottom of the card, I have all you do is order and eat. Okay. And on the back of the card, I half of the card is me, and I have beef brisket, beef ribs, pulled pork. Come on, focus on the card. Pulled pork, baby back ribs, chicken wings, pulled chicken, lamb and salmon, and much more. So you guys know that I smoke whole chickens. I don't have whole chickens on my business card because it's like if I mention chicken, people understand. It's like, oh, you do wings, you do whole chickens. Yes, the conversation is there, and I could drill down and say I'm doing chicken wings because honestly, I don't prefer doing chicken wings over whole chickens, but I prefer doing wings. I can make more money off of wings for that aspect, but I don't actually prefer doing the wings because wings are like my least favorite thing to do because they're tedious. But, me putting lamb and salmon on the back of my card, that's one of those things where, there's certain people that are like, oh, you cook lamb? Oh, you cook salmon? What? And those will be, just because I have it on my card, people will sometimes ask about that. Because there's not a lot of people that are cooking things like lamb and salmon. And then, of course, also on the back of my card, I talk about the fact that I do catering and also on-site grilling is available. So when people say, hey, if I'm having an event, can you come and set up a grill and cook for me? Yes, I can. All right. And then last but not least, on the bottom of my business card, come on, focus on the card and not my ugly mug. And I have where it says, see what's cooking. Follow us on Instagram. And I kind of hate that I have us there, and I would rather say me, but I got into the habit of saying us at one point. And whenever I'm talking about it now, I say me because it's just me for the most part. But follow us on Instagram, Steel Drum Smokers, so my Instagram information, as well as the YouTube information again. And then also like the Facebook page. Now you can kind of decide or determine how active and what you're going to be active on, what social network you're going to be on. These social networks I frequent are YouTube and Instagram. I do not like Facebook. Okay, I do not like green eggs and ham. All right, Facebook is, I won't say a cesspool, but I'm just like I'm over Facebook. Like seriously over Facebook. If I spend an hour total on Facebook every week, that is too much. But Instagram, I can spend hours a day on Instagram. I got my start on Instagram, and I have a special, special place on Instagram in my heart. Same thing with YouTube. Laura says I don't use chick for my stock. Use the bones after I take the meat off. Yep, I keep them in the freezer till I have like 8 or more. I put them in an 80-quart electric roaster on 100 degrees for 3 days. What? Wow. Hey, Marcus, be easy, man. Thank you so very much. We will be in touch. He says, thanks. That's it for me tonight. Got an early cook tomorrow. Take care. Laura says, big game changer in flavor. Nice. FCB, what's going on? Rick says, yard bird. Yeah, B says, I still don't do chicken. It's not because I don't want to. It's just no one orders it. He said it's all ribs and brisket. Yep. You got to cater and cook to people who are ordering food. People ordering chicken. But this one of those things, B, if you put it on your menu and you had it available, people will order it because they see it. Just like I tell people I do it, and they're like, oh, really? When I tell people I do salmon, they're like, really? I love salmon. Smoked salmon, how is it? And I'm like, it's great. Like, delicious. And people ordered it just off of, off the rip because they see it's available. All right. So Guns and Barbecue says, not meaning to backtrack, but if you aren't 100% legal, how do you get into restaurant supply stores? What requirements do you have exactly? Just go to my mom and pop grocer. Okay. So the thing is, in order to get into the restaurant depot, you have to have a business license. You can get a business license by filing the paperwork for a business license. That's it. You don't need a catering license to get into a restaurant depot. You just have to have the business license. The business license is one of those things that's easiest to get, and it's the first step in the process, if you will. So that's how you do that part. And then one of the things I've talked about it numerous times is you can also get into the restaurant supply store if you have a SCA membership or a KCBS barbecue KCBS membership where you can get a day pass. And I know Big Steve, who was up, living near Chicago, he told me he joined one of those organizations, and I can't remember if it was a KCBS or if it was the SCA. He joined the organization, and he would go into the restaurant depot so much that they got to know him, and they were like, you know what? We're tired of giving you these day passes, so every time you come in here, you have to stop here, and you have to, get this pass, and we have to put down your information. They just gave him a card, okay? So maybe you can do that. When I went to the restaurant depot for the first time, I walked right in like I was supposed to be there. Fake it till you make it. But I walked in there like I was supposed to be there, and I just looked around. And when I looked around and saw everything in there, that I was like, oh man, I could get this, I could get that. And I was like, all right, now I got to figure out how I'm gonna get in here. And what I did was I went out to LegalZoom, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. How much is it going to cost me? And I did everything that was necessary to fill out the fictitious name filing, I believe is basically what it is. And I did it. So I have a LLC set up, and my LLC is attached to, my business name is attached to my personal name, but the two things are separate. And that is it was the articles of organization. So it wasn't articles of incorporation, but it was an article of organization that I was able to take to the restaurant depot, and they scanned it, put it on file. Boom. That's my business documentation. And that's how I got into the restaurant depot. Jimmy said the lamb season was off the part. Everyone had a fit over how good it was. Nice. There you go. B said the same thing I said. Restaurant supply, you just need a DBA or doing business as or fictitious name filing that articles. Lawrence is not a fan of lamb. I ate too much growing up. Well, that's just like me. I'm not a fan of chicken legs and leg quarters. Yo, oh goodness. I've talked about how my mom used to buy a 40-pound case of leg quarters, and I was the one that would have to take the case of meat out of the trunk of her car. We had a utility sink in the basement. I had to clean the utility sink, and then I dumped the chicken into the utility sink because it was like half frozen. And then we had those. This is before like Ziploc bags were really good. So you had the food storage bag. It was like a gallon bag was food storage, and you had the zip ties. You know the bread twisties on it. Man, the utility sink in our basement was not even 10 feet from the deep freezer, and I used to have to portion the leg quarters, 2 or 3 leg quarters in each of the bags, and then put the bags into the freezer. Man, I talk about traumatized and don't want to eat those because I had too much of them as a kid. Right there. Victor's so funny. He says, but do you prefer right wings or left wings the most? Kirk says, who missed me? No one missed you, Kirk. He probably fell asleep on the toilet or something. That's why he disappeared, and then he just came back. Grumpus said, I never signed up for Facebook. I can't miss drama. I never had. Yeah, just don't do it, Grumpus. Don't do it. B says, I have it on the menu, but I'm not famous for chicken. I understand. In order to get in, you must have one first jelly over here. What? Whatever. Mimi says, I'm always late. Hey, everybody. It's all right. Better to be here than never be here. Better to be late than never, okay? Going back to the subject, a food handler's cert or a food manager cert is highly recommended. Yes. So that's one of those things where I can... That is the... Oh, my gosh. Why can't I think of the name of the organization? Oh, SafeServe, okay? So I can tell people, I can say, hey, I have a SafeServe certification. The food handlers, or actually I have the food manager's license, not license, but certification. And that has helped me a time or two. But more often than not, it's just one of those things where mentally hey, I shouldn't be doing this, or no, I can't do that. So, yes. Justin said business license, fictitious business name, and seller's permits are easy to get. Restaurant Depot will take any of them. Laura says, yeah, Facebook can make you money on it. Upload videos dash. I don't. So, Laura, I'd much rather, I'm going to say focus, but post the videos to YouTube, to be completely honest, because I'd have to go through that whole... I'd have to go through that whole, not steep learning curve, but just the folks, the attention on Facebook, it's just not what I want. I'd much rather have that attention on YouTube. I've been curating my content for YouTube. And can I take the video I put on YouTube and put it on Facebook? Yes. Can I make the same amount of money? Possibly not. So Kirk says, Restaurant Depot, man, gotta have one to get in. So unfortunately, where Kirk lives, there is not a Restaurant Depot close to him. The closest Restaurant Depot to him is one that's closer to me. So he would have to travel probably almost 2 hours to get to the Restaurant Depot near, the one that's closest to my job is the one that's closest to him. B says, I've connected my Instagram with my Facebook, so I only have to post once. Yes, B, I did that as well, but it is still, it's one of those things where some of the things you post for Instagram are only meant to be on Instagram, and some of the things you post for Facebook are only meant to be on Facebook. Now, also because I have a business Instagram page and a personal Instagram page. Oh, that car is back. A business Instagram page and a personal Instagram page. Like some of the stuff that I want to post on one or the other, it gets convoluted. I make a killing advertising on Facebook, Most of my sales come from it. So Kurt is, not for nothing, the demographic and the people in your area that they frequent Facebook more than they frequent Instagram. Cool. But the folks that I won't say I'm targeting frequented Instagram more than Facebook. Now, do people use both? Yes. Do I prefer one over the other? Yes, I prefer Instagram over Facebook, just because of all the other things. Man, I get it, Facebook. You're trying to get me to come to the site because you make money when I'm on Facebook, when I'm scrolling through stuff on Facebook. I get it, right? I don't need a notification that a friend of mine posted a picture. I don't need that. If I want to scroll through Instagram and look at whatever it is that they're posting, then I mean Facebook and see, I'll do that. I don't need you to falsify a notification just to get me onto the site, where it's on my phone. I'm like, somebody tagged me in something, or somebody commented on something. All right, I gotta check it. Then I look and it's like, oh, it's such and such's birthday. Like, for real? Oh, this person posted something. Why are you telling me that? Like, I don't, not that I don't care, but I'm like, I can go without going on. The longest I went without getting on Facebook was 5 days. Like 5 days, and I was like, I didn't miss anything. Like, there are definitely times when I will get on Facebook and I'll post or not post. I'll see something and I'm like, damn, I missed something. Like, I missed it. And I'm like, okay, sorry. But other times I'll get on Facebook like, man, this is why I don't get on Facebook. All right, so Justin says, what's the difference between the food handlers and the food managers? Are the city, county, sales, state, fed? All right, so no. So the whole thing, Justin, those are from the Safe Serve organization. And then basically the tests are a little different with what they go into. And I always recommend that you get a food manager's Safe Serve certification. It goes into a little bit more detail, and they're almost the same price. So if you get the Safe Serve manager certification, you have all of the qualifications and everything for the food handlers. But basically, the manager certification is supposed to be like the manager or somebody who's in charge. The food handler is just somebody who is an employee or someone who handles the food, so they can keep, if you know all the safety knowledge and the person that's working for you or with you doesn't know that same safety knowledge, then they could mess up and cause you problems or issues because of the fact that they don't know certain things. So it's a hierarchy type deal. Jimmy says, during the 15 years I was training coordinator for our local SO, I racked up 1,500 Facebook friends. SO sheriff's office probably. Facebook have been unfriending people I don't know for 3 years, and I still have way too many. Dude, Jimmy, I'm just gonna tell you that I know a lot of people. Like, I know a lot of people. Okay, first. Second, because of barbecue, because of YouTube, people find my personal page on Facebook, and I'm like, I don't know you. And it's not like I'm just going to ignore your requests or things like that. But the problem is there's certain people who are really into Facebook, and then if I met someone personally, okay, you know what, I'll friend you. Or if I talk to you a couple times, I'll friend you on Facebook. But like, I keep my Facebook personal, and my Instagram and my YouTube is more about my business and more, it's not as personal, if you will. So when those worlds collide, and I get people that find me on Facebook, and I'm like, man, it's nothing personal, but I don't know you. Like, really, I hate to disappoint you, but I'm not gonna friend you on Facebook. But there are certain people, same thing, Jimmy, where you friend somebody on Facebook, and then they pop off and they start talking about something you don't really want to hear, and I'm like, you know what, unfriend. Or I'll do the blind follow type thing where they can see what I'm doing, but I can't see what they're doing. Yep. They just opened a restaurant, I guess Depot, about a half mile from me. It's nice, but I prefer Cisco. As long as you order $500 a week. Yeah, B, I'm not there. I'm not there. Example, I posted pastrami platters and Reuben sausage, hit 3,300 in under 20 hours. Sold out before meat hit the smoker. 35 pounds of pastrami, 25 pounds of sausage. Yee. Look, I'm Kirk. Nothing wrong with that. That's just not my. It's not my particular cup of tea. I just. Nope. I don't. I won't say I don't need that headache, but I just nope. I know Justin says you can modify all of your notifications on Facebook. Yes, but I shouldn't have to. I just, I want to be able to keep track of friends, like friends, and family. I don't need all the extra BS to get me onto that, social network just because. All right, so Mimi says I have a food manager's license. A food handler's license is significantly less difficult. Here in Pennsylvania, safe service manager must be present during any operation to oversee the handlers. Yes, indeed. So one of the things, because I have the the manager certification, when we were doing things like at the kids' school in the kitchen, and we would be doing events and things like that for basketball. They were like, "Hey, do you have a safe serve certification?" I'm like, "Yes." They said, "Well, can you come and hang out in the kitchen and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing?" And I'm like, "Yes." But it was to the point where a lot of the moms on the team got the safe serve certification so they could be in the kitchen and sell food during the events. It does. It's not just barbecue. It's most of the time, almost everywhere where folks are selling food. Nice. B said, even though we were giving away free beer, I had my staff TABC, which is like the alcohol, like whatever, certified. He said it cuts down on the grief. Someone on YouTube is making more money on Facebook. He quit his full-time job because he's making more with Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, I guess. Hey, Jimmy says, time to hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Yes, indeed. Please do. Just build a SDS page. I don't have any other drama and use it specifically for selling barbecue. Your personal page won't even be bothered. Yes and no. I already have a Still Drum Smokers barbecue page. And it's just, again, Kirk, it's my own personal opinion. I'm not taking anything away from, folks who are selling food via or, advertising on. It's just not my cup of tea, man. Sometimes and again, this is one of those things where people on Facebook get too familiar. They get too familiar. And I mean, not for nothing. It's not that to put it bluntly, I don't care. I'm not on Facebook to hear necessarily 100% about how your day is going or anything like that. Like, I have other things I have going on. I can't spend 45 minutes or an hour doting on the fact that you cooked a brisket and you want to give me every single detail about how you cooked this brisket. And I've cooked briskets, bro. I don't care. But it's one of those things where people get, they get too personal, or I found they get too personal, and I'm on Facebook to keep it moving. Like, I'm on Facebook to check in on my good friends, to check in on my family, to wish folks well if they have a birthday and things like that. But other than that, man, I keep it moving on Facebook. I'm not there for socialization. I'm like, oh, all right, you good? You not dead? All right, bet. That's it. I ain't got time for the in deep, because I'm doing stuff on YouTube. I'm doing stuff on Instagram. I'm doing stuff on Facebook as well. I'm doing my personal stuff. I got this. I got that. I got being pulled in too many different directions. You gotta just be like, you know what? This is unhealthy. No, I'm not. This is it's not my thing. All right, and I just it's a feeling. It's a like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, just not everything isn't for everybody. I mean, but Kirk, just like look, he says, I can feel you on that. People want to they get too personal, and I'm like, man, I ain't got time for this. Not for Kirk. You have my number. You have reached out, and we have talked. I am not above talking to somebody, but I need to know who you are. Like, if you are a stranger and you want to start sending me 1,000,001 pictures of, what you're cooking and everything like that, and I'm like, I ain't got the time for that right now. Like, one of the things that I won't say bugs me, but I'll get people who will, my phone number is not a secret. And it's out there in the videos, and I get people to reach out and they say, hey, I saw your number in a video. I hope you don't mind me calling, but I was wondering if I could I could talk to you about X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, nah, but what really helps is when you call, or if you send me a text message, you say, hey, would you have a minute to talk? Hey, I subscribed to your channel, or I saw you on YouTube. Do you have a moment to discuss something? And that gives me the opportunity to prepare myself mentally to say, okay, hey, you know what? This person is reaching out and they need some help, and they're reaching out and they're humbling themselves, okay? And they're saying, hey, I would like your opinion, or I need your help with something. Do you have a minute to talk? And I'm like, sure, I will put down whatever it is I'm doing. But if I'm in the middle of trying to cook dinner and do homework and edit a video or film a video, and you send me some random text messages just going on and on and on and on and on, yo, I ain't got time for that a lot of times. Like, I have other things I have going on. So I feel like Facebook allows people to think they have that access, and I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. So Mimi says, exactly. I say happy birthday, congrats on the new baby, marriage promotion, etc. But that's about it. Exactly. B says, I keep my business page strictly business. My personal page is completely private. See, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to hide. Like, I don't want my personal page private, because there are people who, I don't mind them reaching out. It's just, I don't want everybody to reach out. Oh my God. Kirk says, how many of y'all on Facebook have people sending or tagging you in a dude who turned a toilet into a grill? Dude, so Kirk, talking about that, I have been tagged a numerous amount of times. There was a story in Florida about how this one person sued their neighbor, or they were the person being sued by their neighbor because of the fact that they cooked barbecue and their neighbor was like a vegan or vegetarian, and they sued them for some sort of like stress or duress because they had to smell the food that they were cooking. It's like tagged in that post that millions of times. The file cabinet smoker. Oh my gosh. It's like, oh my gosh, you're the first person to ever send this to me. Wow, thanks for sharing. I got that one hundreds of times. The Cadillac that is turned into a smoker. Oh my gosh, that one too. That one just like has a resurgence. I feel like the middle of the summer, every year, I get tagged in that one, or if someone posts a picture of that one and they tag me in it once or twice a summer. Also, there's one other one. Oh, the guy who has a steel drum on a shopping cart and he's like actively walking through his neighborhood selling food. Oh my God. I mean, I'm all for it, but like the stuff that I get tagged in and people want to, I just remove from timeline. Do not approve. Nope, I don't. Nah, man, I'm not here for that. B says, I've met some really great guys through my YouTube, especially with my build and open and stand videos. Everyone has been polite. Yes, B, that is definitely in the realm of possibility, but at the same time, you get some knuckleheads that come out the woodwork too. So, just because you have had nothing but a positive experience does not mean that the negative aspect of it isn't out there. So Guns and Barbecue says, I just bought my 10-year-old daughter the Oklahoma Joe Longhorn reverse flow. I'm going to flood your inbox with photos and other useless stuff she makes. Hopefully you misspell my email since you can't see it to correct it. Hopefully you misspell it. So Steve says, watch your videos for a while, just subbed and thumbs up. You're a good guy. Thanks for all the info. Thank you very much, Steven. I do appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. B says, I saw that video. I have my settings on set on Facebook where I can't get tagged unless I approve. Yes, same thing, B. I've done the same thing where I, in order for something to get posted to my tagline or to show the tag, I have to approve it. But the way Facebook is so convoluted, you have to like dig down 2 or 3 levels in order to get to the approval process, and I'm just like, I am over it. Oh yeah, yep. Kirk, that's another one I've been tagged in recently. I've seen those too. How about the pregnant parking lot looks like a fat guy in the grill? Yes, indeed. FCB says, once my kid is old enough, I'm going to copy you too. B says, true that. You're way more famous than me. I just got my first Nigerian love scam. I wear it like a badge of honor. Dude, oh man, let's not talk about the phone calls. Because my business phone number is out there, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I get 3 to 5 calls a day. And I have to answer every single phone call I get. And, keep in mind, my business phone is tied to my personal phone number, okay? My business phone number is a Google Voice number, okay? Fun fact, because I've had the same phone number, the same 215 phone number, since 1998. And when I started selling and doing things in Baltimore, I'm like, I need to have a local number so people understand that I'm in Baltimore. So I got and actually it wasn't a Google Voice number at the time. It was a Grand Central. Okay, so this predates Google Voice. It was a Grand Central phone number. And what it did was it gave you an internet number. It basically was like a URL that pointed to another URL. But that phone number would ring, and it was like forwarding to any number that you wanted. So I could put this number out there, and then I could go in and change who it calls or what it dials and things like that. So that is how I had my business. I still have my business phone number set up. So when people call me, the phone it rings to my personal cell phone, but I'm not giving out my personal cell phone number. Now, it just adds a layer of protection, if you will. But the only problem with that is, and some of you guys who have sent me text messages with images, with pictures, because it's a Google Voice number, when you send a text message with a picture, it goes to my email, and it doesn't get forwarded to my phone, to my personal cell phone number. So sometimes you guys send pictures, and if you don't send a message before or a follow-up message after, I don't see that picture because, again, it's gone to my email. Now, some of you guys who I've talked to and I won't say know personally, but I've gotten to know, I'm like, hey, that's my business number. Here's my personal number. If you ever need to send me a picture, if you ever need to really send me something that makes basically really get my attention, here's my personal number. Hit me up here. And, if you have my personal number, you are privileged. But yeah, like B, you have my personal number. Kurt, you have my personal number. Jimmy, I know you're here. Marcus, I know he's gone, but he's got my personal number. But there's a few of you guys who do have my personal number, and taking pictures or sending me images and things like that. Definitely Victor, I know he's another one who has my personal number, and he's like, he sends me pictures, not all the time, but he sends me pictures and hits me up, and I just. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Like, there's certain people, I got to get to know you first before you start berating me with a whole bunch of information and pictures and stuff like that. So, Jimmy says, you want to test the thickness of your skin? Fly the thin blue line here lately. Yeah, well, that worked, I understand. SCB says, we're contacting you regarding your car's extended warranty. Dude, I don't get many of those calls anymore. I get the calls from Google. You have not claimed your Google business listing. I get the calls about credit card processing. I get cards about my credit card account period. Like, oh my gosh, man. And I tell you what, I've gotten I had a call yesterday. Somebody live on the phone. He was like, "Hi, is it possible for me to speak with the person who handles the ordering of your office products?" I said, "I don't actually order any office products. Can you remove my name and number from your calling list?" He's like, "Oh yeah, sure, no problem." And, you know, every now and again, I can be a jerk to some of these folks, and other times I'll be the nicest person. I'll be so polite. Like, I had one dude one time, he called asking about a timeshare, and I was like, oh, I was like, can you tell me more information about how I remove my name and number from calls? Yo, I played the hell out of him with something he was talking about, he was saying, and I just stopped him like mid sentence, and I'm like, bro, like, I don't have a timeshare. I haven't had a timeshare in like 15 years. Can you, like, why are you calling me? I don't own a timeshare any longer. Like, how do you still have my number? Or I'll get like I said, the Google listing. So one time I was like, all right, you know what? I'm tired of, and the Google listing was like, oh, you have not claimed your Google listing, just another, and it's like from a third party company. I'm like, well, if it's Google trying to reach out, talking to me about claiming my Google listing, why isn't it Google that's behind the thing? And it's somebody who goes out, searches for like public record almost, and they contact those people on the public record, and then they sell them something. And I'm like, no. You know who else is horrible? Yelp. Yelp is horrible. And if you guys who have businesses and stuff set up, oh my gosh. Look, B is right there. B is right there. I'm talking off on and I hadn't read the comment, but B says Yelp is the worst. Yelp is the absolute worst, okay? I had folks from Yelp. This lady called me from Yelp, and I'm like, you know, okay, thanks. Like, she's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and you know, set you up with this, that, and the other. And I'm like, why? I didn't ask for that. And she said, well, you know, in order to get some, you know, like, a friend of mine, bless her heart, she, you know, and this was like before I really understood how Yelp worked. Yelp is nothing but an advertisement, okay? Yes, people go out to a Yelp page and they will post good things about your business, but in order for someone to be able to find and search your business on Yelp or see that great review, you have to pay them to put you ahead of any and everyone else in your space, okay? And I didn't get that, right? The first time someone posted something, or she basically popped up and, you know, wrote a review about me, I was like, oh man, that's so cool. Like, people can find me on Yelp. Yes. And then Yelp was like, oh, hey, we noticed someone created a review on our site about your company. I was like, okay. They said, well, you know, we're going to be advertising other barbecue places on your page. And I'm like, but it's my page. Why would you advertise other people? And they're like, because they paid. And I'm like, wait a minute. So because they've paid and someone is searching specifically for my institution, you're going to post their stuff on my page before they can see the information about me? They're like, yep. Nah. I'm not for that. Like, I don't pay for advertising. I don't want this. You know, yeah. So I finally had to get to the point where I'm like, listen, somebody from Yelp, I'm like, I pushed her off. I'm like, you know what? Give me a call in 4 months. Give me a call in 6 months. And after about a year, I'm like, listen, can y'all stop calling me? Stop calling me trying to advertise on Yelp. I'm not advertising on Yelp. Do you want me to remove my page from Yelp? They're like, no, please don't do that. You know, one of those type of deals. You know, and people do still find me and call me through Yelp. I had someone over the weekend. He called and he was like, hey, you he basically was asking if I had brisket. And I said, listen, I do catering. I don't have food just laying around. And I said, well, if you want something, I said, I'm cooking tonight into tomorrow. If you're in Baltimore, if you're going to be in Baltimore for a couple of days, I said, I can deliver food to you. I said, but I don't have food available right now. I said, but I am going to be cooking and I have food left over or I have food unsold. If you want that, I can sell it to you. I said, I need you to send me a text message with some information. Boom, boom, boom. He never did. He never followed up. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not going to get excited about people who want food when they don't do the basic things in order for them to get their food or get food. So, yeah. I just reached out on screen. Boot dash on the nose. Yeah. Boop. So B says, I get more junk calls from Yelp employees than actual customers. Yes, indeed. You ever heard your social security number has been canceled? Yes, I have gotten that one. FCB, definitely. Yeah. Told them I'm not looking. This came back. The The big one recently is you missed jury duty. Oh man, I have not gotten that one. So yes, thank goodness. But Jimmy says the big one recently is you missed jury duty, and we have a warrant for you. For $500, we'll take care of the warrant. Go to Walmart, buy a card, and send us the info. Ha! Laura, have you had that one warrant for me going owing money? Free food in jail. Woo woo. I had a company contact me about getting listed on Alexa and Siri. They wanted $300. Nope. That's the thing, man. Yeah. B says I got a free Yelp with Clover, 15 calls a day. They would have someone post a review, then try to change it, so you have to have it removed. Oh my gosh, man. Like, I'm glad, and it's one of those things that Clover is making money off of Yelp, and it's a closed loop, okay? Because Yelp is like, hey, we're making money by advertising on Yelp, and you can put your listing, your Yelp listing, in a more prominent position, so that when people search for this, okay, searching for barbecue, yours is the first thing that pops up. But I don't always want that to be the first thing that pops up. Again, it was a gift and a curse for my friend who posted my initial Yelp review. And it's a glowing review, and other folks have been on Yelp and have positive reviews on Yelp, and I'm grateful because people are, I don't say people are talking, but people like my food and people took the time to write a Yelp review, and I'm grateful. But a lot of people who are not in business do not understand that Yelp is like cutthroat. Like, Yelp sucks. Like, really. If there's one thing that I could tell people who are out there doing business is do not. You don't need to pay for advertising. Within reason, you don't need to pay for advertising. Okay? Is not paying for advertising smart for everybody? No. Is paying for advertising good for business? It can be. Okay? But people who advertise on Instagram who are on the West Coast who do barbecue, why am I seeing their videos where I can't order something from them? I physically cannot order from somebody who's in the Bay Area of California to get something to eat. But guess what? Instagram took their money, or Facebook took their money, okay? And because they took their money, and the whole thing is, they are telling you you have this many impressions, okay, and this many people saw your ad, and this is the business that you got from it. Those are falsities. They are sending and sharing that video with any and everybody who has a inkling of wanting or liking barbecue, even if it's not related to the geographic location, and they can actually order something from you. So no. So Justin said I registered with Google. They just sent me a postcard to verify address with a code. Now, if you Google me in Los Angeles, my company pops up. He said for free, didn't pay anything, and that's exactly it. You don't have to pay. Like, there's some times when you will have to pay. Now, I'm going to tell you to be leery about the Google listing, because you might receive phone calls soon about someone wanting to verify your Google listing or claim your account or whatever, and they try to sell you something. So that first bit that's free, yeah. Hey, Jimmy says he's going to bounce. He said, guys, have a great night. Dash talk soon. Yes, indeed, Jimmy. My wife and I were talking about some travel, and that travel involves driving near or past where you are, Jimmy. So when or if we firm up some plans to do some traveling down south, you are the second call I'm going to be making. All right. So just don't think I haven't forgotten about you. I will definitely be in touch. So you take great care, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for hanging out. But I mean, you guys got to understand that advertising, like, when you first start out, you don't have the budget to advertise, and those businesses, they prey on you. They know that you are trying to make money, and they're like, oh well, we'll guarantee sales. By You give us $10, just $10, okay? And that's how it starts. Freaking Google or Instagram is like, oh, hey, we'll give you a $20 credit when you spend $15. And you're like, oh, wow, I'm getting $35 worth of advertising for. No, no, man, let the food sell itself. Not a problem. So Guns Barbecue says, I just sent you an Instagram message for you to check out later. Just want to apologize in advance for how long it is. It's okay. It's all right. I understand. But see, if you send me an Instagram message, that's something that I can check or read or reply to in my own time. When you send me, oh my gosh, has anyone gotten, and this is one of the things that it just like totally turned me off to Facebook. Facebook, when you have a business page on Facebook, if someone sends you a message and they reach out to you on Facebook, Facebook will ding you. They will put a negative response rate on your business page if you don't reply to folks fast enough. What? Why is Facebook dinging you? And it's like Facebook is one of those, it's like, well, if you reply to people faster, people will contact you, and it's almost like not a promotion, but they will favor your page if you reply to people fast enough. So now you're on somebody else's whim on replying to Facebook. Now the problem I have with that is Facebook the business manager or business messenger or the page manager is what it was. The notifications will never pop up. I had people that would message me, and I'm like, yo, I didn't even see this message. So now I didn't even see the message because I didn't get notified of this message. Facebook is reporting back to that person that, basically this person doesn't care. This person doesn't respond to messages. So what I did was I had to set up an out of office reply. So when people sent me a message and I'm like, listen, I don't get notifications from this thing. So if you send me a message and I don't reply, send me a text message. And the likelihood of me replying to that is much greater. But the whole thing, and one of the other things too, when you send a message or you're going back and forth with someone on Facebook, you have to have the last word in order to stop the clock. Because if someone says thank you and you don't reply, you're welcome, then that is counting against you as far as messages and replies in a timely manner. All right. Terry says, hey, yo, Dash, how you doing this evening, Terry? Terry from Madwood Barbecue. Laura says, this one YouTube gave me a site for fake credit card numbers. He's a hoot to watch. Yeah. Dude, I love the people who waste the time of scammers like me. I posted a video of me getting a call from somebody who told me my Windows password, my laptop was unsecure. And I'm like, oh, really? Like, really? It's unsecure? Like, who? I do my own security on my laptop. Like, I work in IT. I have a I have IT certifications. Like, that's what I do. I have a firm grasp of how to secure my laptops and make sure that they're running well and other things like that. I'm like, oh, but you have hacked into my laptop, or people have I'm like, go on, tell me more. To the point where I wasted probably 5 to 7 minutes of this guy's time, to the point where he hung up. So Kirk says that's why I have like 4 admins who will reply if I haven't gotten to them. Yep. B says Facebook sucks for business pages. Darnell says, hey gang, what's going on? First Love, how you doing? It's Yo Dash. Victor says, I'm parked, so before I forget, I'm happy for you and your upcoming trip to Texas. Travel and hugs are something we all took for granted in the past. Yes, good times ahead. Yes, indeed. Definitely agree with you there. B says, tell people you are an IRS special agent. Not a special agent, but I do actually work for the IRS, or with the IRS, not for, but with the IRS. So it's not a lie. Wife started her new job tonight, so I've been talking with her. All right, well, congratulations. Hopefully she is digging what she's doing. First Love says, I'll get my first shot tomorrow. Yes. I get my second shot on Saturday. My wife gets her second shot tomorrow. I was kind of bummed. Like I busted my hump in order to get the ability to get the shot. As a food service worker, that was how I got in when I did, and I got in, and then I'm like, listen, I'm telling my wife. She's like, I can't wait. I'm just gonna wait my turn. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, nah. When I was trying to get set up, I put in my information so that when shots came available, they would let me know. And I got a notification. I'm like, I already got mine scheduled. I'm gonna forward this information to my wife. So I went on Tuesday. She went that Thursday and got her shot, her first shot. And then when everything was said and done, when she got her shot, they were like, all right, we're gonna put you in for three weeks exactly. So though I got mine on Tuesday before her, she's getting her second shot on Thursday before me, exactly 3 weeks versus mine. It's 3.5 weeks. So I get mine on Saturday. Her time maybe prancing. The scam callers, huh? Pranking? I got that same Microsoft call. I kept them on the phone for 15 minutes before I told them I was using Linux at the time. Grumpus, see, stuff like that is what, as a computer guy, all right, I get it, and oh my gosh, it is hilarious. Like, wait, you want me to search something? You mean like not grep? Wait. No. To search, I need grep, right? Like, no, like DOS. No. I'm on. I used to teach a Linux certification, so I'm out of practice. But like certain things with Linux, you just do not. You don't forget. Um, all right. Our business to be a cop at emergencies. Yes. So B. Um. Who? I don't know if it was Laura that sent me something, or if it was somebody else recently. But somebody sent me something where it was uh it was a scam caller, and the person on the phone, the guy was like, "Oh, who's this? You calling this person's number?" No, how do you know this person? And the scammer's like, I don't know this person. I'm trying to sell him X, Y, Z. He said, well, now we have your information because this is a murder scene and this person was murdered and blah blah blah, and like you see or hear the person like having a fit. But yeah, B, I saw one like that recently. First Love said, I heard that second shot is hell. I would still get it. But wow, the storage. Yeah, I've heard a few people have quote unquote gotten a little sick, and not looking forward to it, but looking forward to it at the same time. FCB says, my first is next Thursday. Nice. Darnell says, anyone ever smoked beef knuckles? Thinking about experimenting. So I've never smoked beef knuckles, but I'm not sure if beef knuckles are fatty enough to support being smoked. Sometimes just because you have the cut doesn't necessarily means it lends itself to smoking. Beef knuckles, if they're good for braising, then you might be okay or in the clear to smoke them. Yeah, FCB says, how do you do that on the Mac? It says, used to confuse the scammers. Yep. Now they have a Mac department. Yep, dude. So funny how in the beginning when there was Microsoft phones and Android phones, and then there was Blackberries and Apples, and Apple was always like, oh, there's no one that's trying to hack our phones and this, that, and the other, and then folks were like, oh, so Apple thinks they're unhackable? Hold my beer, all right, or hold my Mountain Dew, okay. So yes, Apple now is one of the bigger targets when it comes to phone stuff. And yeah, Laura, yeah, I thought it was you, but I couldn't specifically put my finger on it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I just watched one of those. Here's the update on this. It sent it by rail. I should see it next week. 26 weeks since I ordered it. 12 to 18 weeks. Wow. Darnell said, tell him you have a Tandy 2000. Nah, man, my first computer was a Commodore 64. I wasn't there for the Tandies. This bacon has been stuck at 138 for an hour. Dude, you know, it is what it is. Just let it go. B says a Tandy. Shoot, that's like worse than a Radio Shack computer. TRS 80. Speaking of the Radio Shack computer, yeah, I won't say I'm an OG in the computer game, but I mean I'm not old as some of you guys, but I definitely remember some of those older, computers, or personal computers. Grumpus said Atari 400 here. Now I did not have an Atari, though I had neighbors that had an Atari, so I do remember playing the original Atari. ICB says, which command do I use to bring that up on Windows 3.1? Oh, Tandy was the Radio Shack. Okay. Never even knew there was an Atari computer. I only knew about the Atari console with the joystick and the one orange button and the one button on the square. Pong. Definitely. TRS was Texas Instruments. Okay. And they have YouTube videos where someone will call a scammer and keep them on the phone for hours. So there's a guy who I've watched. He did a TED talk on scamming a scammer. And oh my God, he went back and forth via email. And wow. Ooh, Darnell says ColecoVision. Woo. Not many people. Oh, Neo Geo. That's the one that not many people know about. I was somewhere and I saw this girl who had a Neo Geo tattoo, and I was like, it's like, Miss, I'm sorry to bug you. Like, is that a Neo Geo tattoo? And she's like, boom. She like lit up and everything like that. Neo Geo was like the first super duper exclusive high dollar console back when like Nintendo went to Nintendo 64 and like the original PlayStation, and it was like where those were $100, $150. Neo Geo was like $500. It's like, whoa, nobody had a Neo Geo, but she apparently did, or had one, or knew of one. Terry says my first computer was an IBM desktop. Dad bought from school. Nice. People post on Facebook 24/7, and you wonder if they have a job. Yeah, Royce Doc. Definitely. It's like, someone, I won't say long ago, but a while ago told me that posting on social media is like fishing. Okay? And it's you post something out there and you're casting bait basically. And you want people to reply. And that is validation for folks. And you see people doing that, or used to do that a lot on Twitter. And, it's gone away from that because there's so many people on Twitter. And where Twitter used to be a conversation, now Twitter to me is like a fire hose where people just dumping information out on Twitter. So the value in Twitter that used to be there when Twitter first started out and I was on Twitter in the beginning, like, it's definitely not there. But I feel like people treat Facebook how Twitter used to be, where they're just fishing. They're fishing for compliments. They're fishing for validation. They're fishing for lots of different things. And I'm just like, I'm not for it. Like, I'm not for it. And television, Coleco, Atari, nice. We called it the Trash 80. Even then, you still needed the cards. Yes. Built my first computer, 486 with 16K memory and a DOS 5.0. Woohoo! Yeah. OS2 Warp. What was the size of the refrigerator? Oh man, yeah. We have a Neo Geo, I believe. My girlfriend sells vintage video games and consoles. Nice. All right. My dad worked for IBM. He refused to have computers in the house. Huh. That's interesting. Darnell says she just sold some TurboGrafx 16S's. Wow. IBM used to make the best electronic typewriters, though. Yeah. That and cash registers. So, Mimi said if it doesn't make you money, gain your knowledge, it doesn't make sense. Why waste time on social media if you're not getting paid to do so? Yep. I like the Moose one, Laura. I like the Moose. I like all of them. So Laura sent me a bunch of, like memes and just like old jokes on the internet. And I chuckled. Like seriously, I chuckled. But Mimi, there's a famous rap line, and I can't remember exactly who said it, but basically it goes, if it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense. Oh my goodness, Jack, Betty, how you guys doing? It's been a minute, but glad to see you guys are checking in. Glad to see you are here, and the smoke from your barbecue hasn't killed you. Definitely appreciate you stopping in. So Jack says we wrote the book on being old or being too old to computers. He says, what's up? B says everyone completely overlooks that IBM created the first satellite cellular network. Darnell says I always laugh when I hear Instagram model. They don't have a modeling agency. Dude, Darnell, you can't tell people, you can't tell folks anything that are like, but I'm an influencer. Influence what? What influence do you have? Show me. Show me. Like, I feel, and it's one of those things where, how, if you've been around my channel long enough, you heard me talk about the term pitmaster, and I found that folks have bastardized that term pitmaster. I don't call myself a pitmaster. I'm not a pitmaster. Okay, I don't call myself a chef. I don't call myself a pitmaster. I'm just a fat guy that cooks. Okay. Now, same thing with Instagram models. Okay, folks have bastardized that term Instagram model. Oh, you're taking pictures, or and it's so funny because you see chicks who like who get put out there, and it's like, oh, you have a friend or two friends and y'all about the same size, y'all wear the same clothes and take pictures, similar pictures, and each one of y'all taking pictures for each other to pose in the, man, come on now, come on. It's just thirst trapping. B says e-girls crack him up. Yep. AFCB says I'm off to bed. Good night, all. I told my wife the other day because the crap is on my house. Doesn't anyone use satellite anymore? No, not really. You know what I've seen though? A resurgence in the Dish. Like I thought Dish was dead, and I've seen Dish Network vehicles, installations, and stuff like that popping back up again. Nah, B. Instagram girls are not the same as OnlyFans girls. I give credit where credit is due, and there's a lot of the OF girls that are actually doing something. Like, yeah, but there's a different, there's levels to it. You know what I mean? Oh man, well Jack, I'm glad to hear that your daughter hopefully is made a turn for the better. I definitely, obviously, definitely need to take care of family first. Guns Barbecue says, I cringe every time someone calls me a pitmaster. Dude, I do too. I do too. I mean, I am vehement about people not calling me a pitmaster. Don't call me a pitmaster. Don't call me a pitmaster. I'm not a pitmaster. Like, you see people, oh, I'm a pitmaster. Oh yeah? Like, what pit are you the master of? Well, I got my Weber kettle and I can cook some hot dogs on it without burning them. Really though? Really though? Head arsonist is what it is. I'm an arsonist who cooks. So that's what it is. I'm an arsonist who cooks. Head arsonist. So, you know, I don't even want to start. I don't want to talk about that too much because then people gonna steal my line. But about being an arsonist, and yeah. So. Jack, Betty, so glad to see and hear you guys. Very, very, very glad that to hear that your daughter is doing well. Definitely. Mimi says Team Pyro. Yeah, man. I have a friend who his license plate used to say DC Pyro. He was a club promoter, all right, back in the day, and I don't remember exactly how or why he was pyro, but and I can't remember what club it was that he promoted back in the day in DC, but oh man, like his plate was DC Pyro. First Love says it's been a while since I've been on here, so I have earned the right to say it. Mesquite. You keep doing your mesquite, all right? B says, I think my son is going down that road. He sits and watches the beauty of the firebox with me. And it really is. It's mesmerizing. And, I'm happy and I'm not that I'm not cooking or using as much wood as I was. But at the same time, it's like, I'm glad, like, unfortunately, Bessie is just rusting away. Like, there's just no other, the thin metal, it's not meant to last forever. So, yeah. Jack says, I cringe every time my wife asks me if I know what I'm doing around the smoker. I just give her the go away, woman. Look. Yeah. Thank goodness my wife doesn't, I don't say she doesn't pester me, but that's because my smokers are usually so far away that it's an escape for me to cook sometimes. So she doesn't pester. But there are times when I'm cooking and she just, like, I hear someone coming down a driveway. I hear the footsteps of someone shuffling and coming down a driveway. And it'll be her, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Cooking." And she's like, "But you're just sitting here." Yeah, this is what I have to do. Like, I'm not running around in circles the entire time I'm cooking. Like, there's a lot of hurry up and wait, and then hurry up and wait. So, yeah. Justin says, "All right, everyone, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun." I like that, Justin. Have a great night. He says, "I'm out." Hey, Justin, be easy, sir. Take great care and be on the lookout. I as a patron subscriber, I do owe you some videos because you've asked some great questions and or you've asked to talk about some great topics. Again, tonight's discussion was based off of something you asked me, so I wanted to I'm glad you're here and you are a part of it, so you got that live interaction and that live discussion. But I will talk about it more because, just like you said, there are other folks who just don't know how to get started. Excuse me. Indigestion. Like, oh, you know what, I have indigestion pill, I need to take it. B said, I watched my buddy the other day fill his Oklahoma Joe firebox with charcoal and light it up. I mean, you can get it started that way. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But are you continuously putting charcoal in it, or are you going to be putting wood on top of it? Victor says, if you say you're a chef or a pit master, it's like telling someone you're cool. If you have to say it, you're probably not. I agree. Jack says, I tell Betty that I'm pacing myself. Yes. B agrees with Victor. No, like the whole firebox, B. So Mimi agrees with Victor. Ryan agrees with Victor. Yes, indeed. Grilled, no smoke, but grilled. And what was it that they cooked? So Dash, so First Love says, yo, when was the last time you grilled? No smoke, just grilled. And what was it that you cooked? Some steaks. I've cooked, I did some ribeyes not too long ago for the family. And I even, on the Weber kettle and used the grill grates. I made some steaks for myself and my kids. And that was last week. I am like average grilling 1 to 2 times a week. Uh, and I won't say grilling. I'm average cooking on a grill, smoker, or cooker 1 to 2 times a week. Grilling, I'm not always grilling things. A lot of times I will, do low and slow cooks just because. Especially because of the fact that I'm home, I'm cooking more on the grills. Now that it's also because it's warmer, I'm going to be cooking more on the grills. But at the same time, I just haven't been filming a lot of stuff. Just freaking noise pollution and other stuff going on. But I am going to be cooking a porchetta tomorrow. I actually seasoned the porchetta a couple days ago, and I'm going to be putting it on the Weber kettle tomorrow and using a rotisserie to cook it. And I haven't decided whether I'm filming a video or not. Steaks are the only thing that I grill, B says. How about everyone else? What's the last thing you all grilled? So B agrees. She said some steaks. Yeah, that's like my go-to where I grill steaks. Burgers, hot dogs, I'll grill those. That's about it. Like, even the last couple times I've cooked chicken, I've been doing some chicken wings on the Traeger, and it's like a smoke infused air fryer is how crispy I get these chicken wings, and they turn out pretty darn amazing. And we're talking like a 2 hour cook, 2.5 hour cook on some chicken wings. But when I say they come out like they're fried, man. So that's like what I've been doing recently, a lot. Terry says last I grilled was pork chops. So I don't say I wish I could grill pork chops, but in my household, if I'm cooking pork chops, they want them fried. It's just they don't like grilled pork chops, and I not for nothing. I mean, I think I have a grasp on how to cook them and to make sure they're not overdone. But my family the white meat and grilling just don't go together. I've kind of gotten away from grilling though. I just put steak closer to the firebox. Okay. Mimi says I do a lot of jerk chicken. Show. Word. That's like say less. Man, I'm there. The jerk chicken is kind of not hit or miss, but again, doing jerk chicken sometimes on the grill, the jerk will burn on the grill a lot of times, or sometimes. Like my wife is also very particular about how or what jerk seasoning I use, but Big Steve, not Uncle Steve, Big Steve sent me some jerk seasoning, and this is what, a year ago now, and and I used some of it recently. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And the whole thing was, I had a steak, and again, I'm grilling the steak. All right, so just like B said, a lot of things I'm doing. As far as grilling, I'm grilling steaks lately. But I cooked the steak, and it was one of those things like I bought a steak at my Sam's, which is the market, and it was on sale. It was like discount meat. And I happened to go in there for something, and I always stroll through the meat section. I look for those discount packs, and I'm like, that's good enough for me for breakfast, so I'm gonna get that. And I bought it, brought it home, and I was like, you know what? How am I gonna season this? And I was like, ooh, that jerk seasoning probably be pretty good. And I put the jerk seasoning on it, and man, I tore it up. And it was one of those deals where I was cooking, and my wife was like, oh, my wife is funny about eating beef sometimes, so she doesn't always want to eat beef. It gives her indigestion, or used to give her indigestion. So every now and again, she's like, ah. And if she has it too much, she's like, nope. So I happened to be cooking beef on a like second day or third day in a row. And when I had the steak, she was like, I'm not eating the steak. I haven't, I had enough steak. And I'm like, you gotta try this. And she was like, oh, she was like, what is that seasoning? And I was like, oh, that's, seasoning I've had laying around. I said, because I wasn't cooking for everyone, I was just cooking for myself. I'm trying a different seasoning. She's like, oh, that's not bad. She's like, I could eat a steak with that on it. I'm like, great. So, but the whole thing is, yes, Laura, this is chocolate. So, Royal Farms is a gas station near me, and they have a like a rewards card, and when you use your card to make purchases and things like that, you get points. And some of the points or some of the stuff that you can do is get free stuff. So I go into the Royal Farms and I get my energy drinks and I accumulate points, and I use or redeem some of those points to get free stuff like candy bars. Which I know I shouldn't be having, and I shouldn't be eating this late, yada yada. But I'm doing this live stream, and I'm drinking beer and an energy drink. So yeah, and I took a good nap. I took a decent nap today. So I'm like, when I first got on in the beginning, I was yawning because I was just waking up. But what? I haven't yawned since. And then I said the Y word like 2 or 3 times in a row. So here it comes. First love says, for the love of God, please tell me how to grill chicken wings. So how you grill chicken wings is indirect heat. Okay. The thing is, and most people, when you're grilling chicken wings, the heat is too high. You end up cooking the outside of the wings before the inside of the wings finishes. So that's one of those things where if you're grilling wings, cooking wings hot and fast, you have to keep turning them to try to not allow them to burn, or you have to reduce your fire in order for them to cook. So yeah. Victor says, porchetta, you say, reminds me of the physics theory, string theory. Sounds good. Yeah, Do you drink coffee? Of course I drink coffee. I just don't drink, so I won't say I don't drink coffee at night, but like I can drink a cup of coffee or a couple cups of coffee and I'll go to sleep. But I've still been doing the intermittent fasting, so I tend to only, like, before 10:30, 11 o'clock, noon, whenever my fast is over, I tend to only drink black coffee. And I should technically be fasting at this point by the time I start the live stream. But sometimes I'm like, what, screw it, yes, no. But I like a lot of cream and Splenda in my coffee. So when I drink coffee, it's not that good for me in the aspect of the fast, if you will. Dash says, if you can only choose one, Wawa or Royal Farms. Wawa for sure, and I'm born and raised in Philly. Yeah, definitely Wawa over Royal Farms. Yo, Rofo, like everybody talks about the Rofo chicken. Yeah, I'll eat it every now and again, but yo, Wawa hoagies, what? Wawa pretzels, what? The juice from Wawa, the Wawa brand juice, what? Yo, I won't say early on, but when I was stopping at Wawa more frequently, I would get and this is again, the fact that I'm a diabetic, the green tea, the diet green tea, what? Diet raspberry tea, what? Mixed with some corn liquor, and or some vodka or whatever. Man, talk about drinking good. Shoot, Wawa for sure. Durka says, shout out from San Antonio, Texas. So funny, Durka. I have a friend who is half Indian, and his his Twitter handle for the longest time was Durka. So like, it was one of those things because I knew him from like when my friend group first got together, and we used to talk and do things on Twitter. That's how long ago it was. I stopped referring to him as Anand, and I would refer to him as Durka. And that's, I called him Durka for a very, very long time. So America, yeah. Darnell says, oh crap, speaking of video games, Atari might be coming out with a new consoles. They joined the stock market last year. Current price is $1.15. Atari, really, you say? I'm going to have to I'm gonna forget. So I'm gonna send you something with some stickers. It's hippie black coffee that's 300 milligrams caffeine, sweetened with coconut milk. Oh man, they had to ruin it with coconut milk. But yeah, so there's this energy drink. It has 300 milligrams of caffeine. Excuse me. Excuse me. So, and I get these specific, and Rockstar has just changed their, the labels on their cans. So I think they're pretty cool. But I specifically get that 300 milligram, can. B, I appreciate that, man. Hippie black coffee. Understand. Lip, how you doing, man? How's everything? Dude, that was, like I said, I still call him Durka Durka every now and again. Yeah, like it's one of those things where I have a brain fart when I have to, like, if I'm out in public and I need to call him for something, and I'm like, what's his name? It can't always be like Durka Durka. Durka Durka. What was it? Durka Durka Obama Jihad. Something like that. Guns Barbecue says, I used to go to the Royal Farms and buy chicken over by the USC, drop yard over by Quarantine Boulevard, or whatever it was when I drove a truck. Yes, I could see then. Well, that's what's up. So, what's so funny? I know exactly which Royal Farms you're talking about because I go to the Quarantine Road, city dump. Okay. That is like the biggest dump for Baltimore City, and it's on Quarantine Road, and the Royal Farms is right there. They actually, I kind of think they knocked that Royal Farms down and like built a bigger one, or like, yeah. Pong F. I'm gonna forget that, and I don't have a pen right in front of me. I'm looking for a pen, and I don't have one on the table, and I don't have my laptop open. That's usually how I, write down the stock tips you guys give me. Is I will log into my Chase account and put it on the list, the watch list. Damn it, I don't have a pen right here. All right, look, this is what I'll do. I'm gonna send myself an email. Pong F. Using my work phone to send my. Oh, look at that! A bunch of emails popped up. All right, so we're going to create a message. No. I hate the iPhone sometimes. Most times. Subject PONGF. Was that the symbol? Pong F. All right. I'll know what it means. I'll just see if I get the message. I'm gonna send you some other stuff with it. Nice, B. I appreciate that. I know I'm shocked. Know why? Nah, the rock stars changed the formula long ago with the cans, man. The flavor isn't close, not as good. Muhammad Jihad. Okay, thanks. I know exactly where you're talking about. Yes, indeed. I do too. You're talking about Quarantine Road. I mean, though Quarantine Road is actually pretty long, when you're talking about the Royal Farms of Quarantine Road and or like the dump or drop off, I can picture it too. Now we drive right past the dump when I had to go to the plant. Yeah, your business card doesn't have your email, Grumpus. There's a whole video game Pong you can't forget. Look, I can forget. Tribal butter, MCT oil, coconut oil with no MCT. It's awesome. Dash out. Trust me. So I'm not a fan of coconut at all. Like, I have an aversion to coconut. Like, I do not like coconut. Sam, I am. And like people are like, oh, you can't taste the coconut. I can taste coconut. Like, I do not like coconut. Yeah, don't like coconut. Hey B, I think I have Grumpus's number. I'll sell it to you. I mean, I'm enterprising, so I'll sell it to you. How bad do you want Grumpus's number, B? How bad? How bad do you want it? Huh? But yeah, let's see. Laura says green tea and cold water. Less than 4 tea bags, 4 cups of water. Leave it for a day. Stir, shake. Next day, add half lemon. Juice and tea sweetener. Tastes awesome. Green tea lemonade. Nice. Laura, are you behind on the? Because I haven't sneezed in a while, and we were talking about the diet lemonade a while ago. You might be behind. You might not be live. Which, nothing wrong with that. So, I figured. Oop. 2 hours and 40 minutes in. There it is. There's a yawn. Those of you guys who were waiting for the yawn, there it was. All right. Well, I figure I'll talk to you guys for maybe another 20 minutes, and then I'm going to go back to bed. Like I said, I sat on the couch this afternoon, this evening, and I took a nice nap. Grumpus says, we be in the future, Laura. Darnell says, Ash, I've been looking at stocks for you since last week. I found 2 affordable ones for you. I'll DM you. Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate that. I'm more on a budget. It was funny. If you haven't or do not know about the stock BBQ, I kind of jokingly was looking at ticker symbols, and I looked up BBQ, and I tell you what, in 2 maybe 3 weeks I have earned 50% on my shares with the ticker BBQ, and in the past 2 days it went up 30%. Well, actually the past 3 days it went up 30%, but it gave back I think like 5 to 7% today. But still it has been like climbing. Dang, I missed some of this. Well, Travis, unfortunately, what you'll have to do is you'll have to watch this over from the beginning. Just don't hold it against me. We kind of got off on a slow start, but we really talked a lot of good stuff. We talked about business cards was one of the things we talked about mainly. So I talked about my business card and like not really how I developed it, but just about my business card. B says, I just got my stickers, trying to figure out my online shop now that integrates with my webpage. First Love says, good night, y'all. Yeah, B, I'm trying to figure that part out too, because I'm kind of overpaying $20 a month for Wix. Though I can write that off. I'm over it. Travis says, where are you operating out of? I'm in Illinois and the city is strict. Yes, well, I live in Baltimore City, and the state of Maryland is strict as well. But I tell you what, if you are like doing some work in your garage, or you have nothing going on and you can just kind of sit and listen to us talk, or me talk at you guys and some of the responses, we talked about that earlier tonight. And not to double back, not double back. But as opposed to me, kind of repeating, it would be awesome if you could go back and watch. And it happened in the first hour. So just and we were talking about the gray area more or less. So when you hear about it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, but Travis, definitely appreciate you popping in and hanging out. Laura says, good night, First Love. Barbecue at 52 highs this. There's going to be a 10 to 15% pullback by the dips. Dude, exactly. So, Darnell, I was telling somebody the other day, and my whole thing was, I'm like, I know it's about to dip. Like, I know it's about to dip, but I'm like, do I sell it and buy it back, or do I hold on to it and just ride the dip? So, because I don't think the dip is going to like give back 30%, which is what it gained. But not only that, I'm up 50%. Actually, yesterday when I looked at it, I was up 57 or 58% from when I bought it. And I bought it just under, I think I bought it under just under $7. But I had been watching it since $4. And the whole thing was like, it was one of those things where I was looking for a dip, looking for a dip, looking for a dip, and it never dipped. It kept going up, a couple cents a day. And then the next thing I knew it was up $1. And then I'm like, damn. And I kept looking for a dip, looking for a dip, looking for a dip, and it just didn't dip, and it just kept going up. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, all right. Once it hit like 7.25, and I was like, all right, I'm like watching it like a hawk. And I watched it one day, and it dipped just under $7, like during day trading. I was like, now is the time. Now again, I don't have many shares. I think I bought 8 shares or 10 shares, and that's usually how or where I get in my entry point. And my whole thing is I'm gonna nickel and dime y'all to death. I'm gonna nickel and dime y'all to death, and put $50, $100 towards something, buy a couple shares, quick flips, quick rips, and boom, I'm gonna take that and invest in something else that's on a dip. But when everything is on rips and going up, it's kind of hard to be like, all right, when, I'm sure like Double Dutch back in the day, you'd be like, when do I jump in? When do I jump in? You got to get that rhythm. And that's been my problem. Like some things I'll kind of just be like, it's going up. Like I'm going to go ahead and buy it now. But again, I also don't have the budget to be like, oh, I'm throwing $500 here, $1,000 there. I don't have that budget. So every couple weeks when I put some money in my account, I strategically purchase things. Like I've been telling myself that I want to strategically purchase some more shares of AT&T because AT&T, I believe, I found out that AT&T is one of the companies that gives the best dividends, period. And shares of AT&T are like $30, $35 right now. Off the top of my head, I don't 100% know, but they've been hovering around $30 for a year and some change. And I'm like, damn, I want my AT&T shares to go up. But as long as I'm getting dividends and the dividends are, getting me enough money to basically purchase shares again, obviously my return is going to go up on that. So I'm cool with it. B says I'm using Wix and writing it off, but I can't find an online marketplace that integrates with Wix, Instagram, Facebook. I don't want 3 different marketplaces. Unfortunately, B, I don't know if you can integrate one with all of those other things. She goes to the shop. She had it clean and put in toolboxes away. Yeah, Jack, I completely understand. Hopefully everything is good with your business. Buying and flipping cars. Laura, I've seen it all. I've heard it all. I'm telling you. I can detect coconut. Like, yeah. I use refined from a habanero sauce. Huh. Okay. There's no sell. Let me do some due diligence. Yeah, so Darnell, what brokerage are you using? Because I want to be able to do some more in-depth analysis, and I'm starting to learn about Fibonacci retracements and other things like that, and I know that I can do some of those things with Fidelity. I'm just not 100% on board with the Fidelity, like the way that it works. Like I don't like it 100%. So E-Trade had to make a green tea lemonade for my ex when he had a heart attack at his INR off because it was love. Wow, nice. That's what's up, Laura. Floor is your next buy-in. Oh yeah, definitely. But again, it's one of those things where I kind of have to have the cash on hand in order to be able to be at it. Jack says stimulus money arrived, new tools tomorrow. Yes. Darnell says OTC commission free. Nice. Brian says my stimulus was spent the same day we got it. So I actually did my taxes over the weekend. I started on Sunday and I finished on Monday night actually. And our stimulus was tied into us filing. So, and I don't know whether it was, you know, the bracket we're in or our income or whatever, but it wasn't just automatic. I had to file in order to get the stimulus check. So, it's coming. But our stimulus, we're you know, going to be doing some not debt restructuring, but we're going to be like on my house, we have a unsecured loan for our siding. We got siding done on the house a couple years ago, and the siding was like $45,000. So we have unsecured loan, and we've been paying on it. It's like, you know what? We have a home equity line of credit, and the home equity line of credit is a much lower interest rate than the unsecured loan on this siding. So it's like, you know what? Let's take the tax return, income tax, and we'll pay the balance of the tax and use the HELOC to pay off the rest. I'm like, we're already, so as opposed to making two payments, we'll make one payment at a lower interest rate that it makes good fiscal sense. So we are trying to do the whole get out of debt. There you go, Darnell. This is a streamlined refinance. So we refinance I won't say refinance. Well, we got a second mortgage on the house, home equity line of credit last year, so we could do some improvements on our house. And it was like, we did some improvements, but like we've been still paying on the siding, and it's like, man, the siding interest rate on the siding is like 7-8%, and the interest rate on the HELOC is like 3%. It's like a no-brainer. We need to do that. Adam, how you doing? He says Dashes barbecue and finance services. Yes, indeed, man. I tell you, I was looking at getting a motorcycle last year, and I did everything that I needed to do, and the cheapest way for me to borrow money is from my 401k. I borrow money, I pay it back, borrow money, pay it back. So I borrowed some money from my 401k, and I was like, you know what? I want this bike. I want this motorcycle because I haven't had a motorcycle in quite some time. But when I kind of balked on it and I didn't get the motorcycle, like I didn't go and get it like that day, it sold. Somebody bought it, you know, and I'm saying out from under me, but it was like I wasn't in a rush. So I wasn't in a rush, and then somebody bought it. I was like, well, I got this money for the loan. Like, what do I do? I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay off my credit card debt. And I did. So I am relatively credit card free. Like between the 3 credit cards that I have and use, the one is an Amazon credit card. The other is a United, like an Air card for travel. And then the other is a credit card through my credit union that I used for refinancing all of those other things a while ago. I'm like, all right, you know what? You get paid off, you get paid off, you get paid off. And with the Amazon credit card, the beautiful thing about that is I make purchases through things on Amazon, and I can get and buy things for 0% interest. So yes, that's why I have that one. My credit union credit card, I'll use that one because it has the lowest interest rate, but I try not to let the balance on that one get above $1,000, which is something I can pay off usually in a month and a half if I don't use it. So, but I recently bought a new laptop for myself. I don't say treated, but I found a great deal on the laptop. It was an open box used laptop, and as opposed to being $1,600 for this laptop, I got it for $1,300. I was like, yes, please. So I'm using it to film and edit. Well, not film, but edit my videos. As of late, I've been doing videos in 4K. I wanted to step up, and I definitely have to use a laptop for editing. So I did that, and I also bought a bike. I'm not 100% sold on the bike just yet. I wanted to buy the bike to help, you know, with fitness and other stuff like that, but I'm too old and fat to be riding a bike. Well, B, are you talking to Grumpus? I guess you're talking to me. Yeah. Once they have it, so you can't do it again. We're looking at the USDA now. Okay. What? Terry? Well, happy belated birthday. crack me eggies. Laura, you like a night owl? You up and be cooking and doing stuff? Oh man, dude, I had Peloton. Let me just tell you, seller's remorse is a thing. So I watched Peloton. I had somebody talk to me, not talk to me, but I heard somebody talking about Peloton, and I was like, man, Peloton. It was at like 70, 75. And I was like, I was like, man, that's high. That's a lot. Like, see, my thing is this, right? And I'll try to put this into perspective. If I buy one share of Peloton, which is what I could afford, and it goes up 5%, okay. But I can buy 15, 20 shares of something that's at a lower amount and get a higher percentage return. I'd much rather buy the cheaper thing with the higher return. Okay. So, again, I'm trying to make more money. Now, am I making, $7 on, a 5% return on something that's $70? Yeah. Am I making $10 on something that's a 10% return on something that's $1? Yeah. So I try to go for the things that will give me a higher return. Okay. But what I've had to kind of realize is those things that give me a lower return are more of a guaranteed return versus, I'm gonna say, the quick money, but a 15 to 20% gain and a 12% pullback, and a 15 to 20% gain and a 25% pullback. It's like up and down, up and down, up and down. You got to catch it on a good day and sell it on a good day and then buy back on a dip. And I'm like, I ain't got time to be watching it like that all the time. But I say all that to say I bought Peloton, and I have been watching Peloton, watching it, and I bought it on a dip, and it dipped just under $100. It was like 99, and I was like, yes, got some more. It was like 96, and I was like, I got some. And Peloton was just going like this. It was going like this. It was going like this. All right, going like this. And dude, like, I had Peloton. It went up to like $153, $155. And I was like, oh man. And it dropped $15 in a day. And it dropped to $135. And then it dropped another 15, 20% in the next day. And I was like, yo, what is going on? It dropped a lot in 2 days. The third day, I'm like, oh my God, like it dropped again. And I was like, yo, I gotta get out before I lose my money. So I ended up selling Peloton in the 110, 115, like it was between 110 and 120. So I made some money on Peloton, but yo, I sold before it picked back up and climbed back. So yeah. I know, Darnell. I know. And I'm trying to get to that point where I have investments and I have trades. And I want to do both because like the majority of my portfolio, like 75% of my portfolio is investments. And then that other, little bit of money, those are trades. And that's the stuff I want to, I want to make some money on a trade so that I can do some more investing. How about that? Yeah, Darnell, it's one of those things where I've gotten, you got to remember, and I told you about this, I've only been investing or dabbling in the stock market for about a year, for a little over a year. So getting more comfortable with, buying and selling things and trading and actually, like being okay with the fact that I'm selling for profit or, cutting my losses, those type of things where sometimes you just got to be like, nah, man, get this, I'm out. But there's certain things, certain companies that I like Sens. I believe in Sens because dude, I am a diabetic and I know what that's gonna do, but I can't, like right now with Sens. I think with Sens I'm at like a 20 or 25% loss, and I'm like, ugh. I'm going dollar cost average down and throw some money at Sens every time I can, but it's like, damn, I need y'all to turn around. But how long am I going to wait? How long can I wait and look at that red number before I finally am like, you know what? I'm out. And I could be out and gain that money back and that's what I gotta stop doing. So I'm getting there, Darnell. I'm getting there, that's for sure. I am becoming more of an investor than a trader, but I already know that I want to dabble and do both. And one of the things, one of the things that I told you also is with Chase, who I have my main brokerage through, I can only buy and sell in whole shares. I can't buy like partial shares or fractional shares, which is a limiting factor. Darnell says you're gonna lose on the commission with the ins and outs. There isn't. I'm gonna say there isn't a commission, but they might take a penny off the top, per share. That's about it. Is not is no great like fee. There's no commission with Chase. So, and like I said, if the ask is $17.89, I might get it for a penny more, or I have to pay a penny more for it per share. That's how they make their money. One of the things I learned with Robinhood recently is they make their money. There's no commissions, all right, but they take like two to I feel like it's 2 to 5 cents off the top when you sell, and I'm like, what the hell, man? Because I was getting out of AMC. I told you I still made some money, but I was getting out of AMC, and when it sold, I'm like, yo, I told you that my stop loss was here. Why am I selling down here? Like, what the hell? And that's just that's just profit for them. And I'm like, nope, I'm out. I am out of Robinhood. Like, I still have my Robinhood account. Like, I haven't closed it completely, only because if something starts to run, I can throw money at Robinhood and buy into something quickly because I have that account set up. Now, my hairs on my mustache are tickling my nose. So now I kind of have to get to the point where I get comfortable with something else and be able to do that same thing. But like all of the other brokerages, like I have a Fidelity account, I can send money to Fidelity through PayPal. But it takes a day for it to get there. I can send money to Chase directly from my Chase account. I can say, hey, pull money from or send money to, from my bank account. But it takes a day or two for it to get there. Fidelity is instant. Or excuse me, Robinhood is instant. So I like that ability in case something big pops off and I hear about it. Or I'm like, you know what? Here's a couple $100. Boom, throw it out there to Robinhood, drop it in this investment. And I'm like, I hate to be that, on my yeah. So Darnell, I'm aware of the settled funds thing. And yeah, I'm aware. Let's put it that way. Did I tell you I got a cash violation because I bought and sold something too fast because it didn't settle? Yeah. Whoops. I'm like, what the hell does this mean? Like, nah, man, I'm not gonna be doing this. Like, what? So yeah, I was like, ooh, I got my wrist smacked, and I was like, all right, well, I gotta be careful now. So I'm like, it hasn't. I'm gonna say it hasn't limited my ability to trade, but I have to be. I'm gonna say smarter. I have to be more deliberate with my trades, as opposed to just doing market orders. I have to set limit orders. For now, it was like 30 days. So I think I'm probably a third or halfway through the 30 days, but I'm learning. I'm definitely learning. I'm still in the green, all told. But yeah. No, Mimi, I have not made any videos on stocks because I am by no means an authority. I am a novice for sure. And it was one of those things where, in Mimi, I talked about this. So I have 2 credit cards through Chase, okay? And Chase one day popped up a little ad and it said, hey, open up a brokerage for free. And I was like, a brokerage account? Like, I don't know jack about trading stocks. So I was like, So I just opened it on the whim, okay? And I opened it back in January, February last year. And I opened it up and I kind of was like, I'm going to do some research and figure out what I have to do. My coworker at the time, who was, in the same office, she trades through Fidelity. and she would be talking about trades, or she and another coworker would be talking about different things that were hot and everything like that. And I'm like, man, y'all doing this whole like stock thing for real, like, man. And I don't know anything about it. So I said, well, first thing I need to do is get a brokerage. And I said, well, I have the ability to get the brokerage through Chase because it's free and I don't have to do anything extra. I'm like, all right, I'll open it up. I'll set it up. And I set it up, but didn't fund my account. Fast forward another month, and it was March. And I did my taxes. We got our income tax return back last year. My wife says, you know what? Actually, no, it wasn't the income tax. It was the home equity line of credit. My wife says, you know what? Let's take a couple dollars from the home equity line of credit and throw it out there and dip your toe in. I was like, all right. She said, but let's have a plan. Okay. She said, well, let's get 10 stocks and spend $100 on 10 stocks. We put $1,500 out there initially. And she said, we'll have a reserve of $500. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. And, we did. We bought 10 or 12 stocks, and we spent about $100. We had about $100 invested in each one. And, March of last year was when stuff crashed. So, boom. All right. It's like, great. I'm on top of the world, one of those type of deals. So stuff was going up and up and up and up and up. So then, the thing was, last year we invested in Carnival, Verizon, AT&T, gun stocks. Okay, gun stocks. Obviously, last year gun stocks were pretty important. And a couple other things, and we made decent money on them, like really decent money. So it's like, okay, and then I see something here and there, and I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna take $50 and buy 10 shares of this. I'm gonna take $100 and buy 10 shares, and then my $1,500 was gone. And I'm like, damn, I'm just sitting here twiddling my fingers, but there's things I want to invest in. Like, I want to invest in this, I want to invest in that. And so I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna send some more money. I'm gonna send $25 every time I get paid. I'm send $25 every time I get paid. Like, okay. And that was how I kind of continued, and I bought additional shares and other things, and I expanded and started to, diversify my portfolio a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing well. And I was like, all right, well, $25 every time I get paid is not enough. So now I'm doing $50 every time I get paid. Again, what I can afford. And I see things or hear things like I bought AMC way back when. Like I bought AMC back in October or November timeframe when they were talking about just possibility of opening up theaters, and the stock went up. Like I bought some at $5, and I bought some under $6, and then I bought some again just over $6 because it was going up, and then it dropped to like $3, and I was like, well, damn, let me buy some at $3 because I'm like, theaters going to have to open back up eventually. And then it was like, okay. So I had some shares, and then everything happened with the meme stocks, and AMC was a meme, and like my shares of AMC went up $400 in one day, and I was like, whoa, and I was like, I'm gonna wait for it to go higher. Nope, I learned my lesson. I got burnt on that one, so I know now. Yo, if something takes off with a 15 to 20% gain, and one of the things that I don't necessarily like about Chase is I can set a stop loss, but the stop loss is by a limit order. With Robinhood, one of the things that I liked is I could set a trailing stop loss. So as the stock went up, if it dropped back a certain percentage, then it would sell automatically, and I didn't have to necessarily babysit it. And now I like that aspect, because there was one time when the freaking AMC lost 25% in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Now I was able to sell it before it kept going even lower, and I was able to, take some profit, and I didn't lose any money, and I'm still in the black. But had I set that trailing stop loss at, 7%, 8%, 9%, 10%, I'd have been in a much better position than I was when I lost 25 or almost 30% before I caught it and sold it. I'm like, damn. So Darnell said, when starting a portfolio, buy 5 stocks and make sure you're diversified at least 5. And you know, it depends on how much money you can put away and what type of investing you're trying to do. If you're, you know, like, you know, I was ecstatic when I got the opportunity to buy Apple shares. I was like, yes, I'm buying Apple, because it split, and I'm like, all right, well, I can't afford $400 or $500, whatever it was, and it split and dropped down to 100 some change, and then when it split, it went from, it split and it was at like 118 or so, and then it just kept going up and up and up, and I bought some at like 125, 129, or bought one at 125 and 129, and it dropped, and I was like, man, I'm getting out of this. I'm like, man, it's Apple's BS. I think I had 2 shares, and I sold one, and I bought back another one, and I bought it at like 120, 121. So, boom. I was like, that's okay, but Apple was doing nothing, man. Apple was like hovering at the same. I needed to go up. Yeah. So, Adam says, all right, gotta go. Good night, everybody. Dash, hang tough. Yes, indeed. You're awesome. You're awesome, sir. Adam, have I been missing them, or has there not been videos on the Santa Maria? All right, because I could have been missing them. I've been doing other stuff all weekend, unfortunately. Laura says she's back with her eggies and Uncle Steve's sweet and spicier on them. Yum. Yes, I agree. Sweet and spicier on eggs, man. Yeah, Adam. Okay. I just want to make sure every now and again when I have your attention, I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss it? Wait a minute, Adam. Laura can't be awesome if I'm awesome. We can't both be awesome. Like, one of us has to be more awesomer than the other. You're impatient. You rushed it too high. You could have got around. I want to wait. Yeah. And that's the thing. I know. It was so much hype around it, and I've come to the realization that I can't buy off the hype. You know, when, you know, folks buy things and they're oversold. So I'm starting to understand, you know, the different analytics and everything like that. Yeah, so it's at 125 now. I know I bought it in at like 121, 122. So I think I'm in the green, but just slightly. Laura says we both awesome. Yeah. But one of us still has to be awesomer. Yeah. Exactly, Darnell. And I know that, and like that's how I was able to walk away from AMC, because I was like, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. I like, my stress level was out of control. And you know what? I said, you know what? I'm gonna take this money that I've made money from AMC, and I'm gonna pay myself. I'm gonna pay down my debt again, pay off my debt, you know. And I'm like, boom, I'm gonna do that, and then I have extra money to be able to say, you know what? And that's exactly what I did. I was like, man, I said, I said I'm gonna send $100 to the brokerage just randomly. I send $100 to the brokerage. Like, it's not extra, but I won't miss it. Laura says, draws the line. Yeah, but that's the thing. So Moo Boo says, hey y'all, what I miss? You missed a lot. Now we had a good discussion tonight talking about getting started and like promotional stuff like business cards and flyers and things like that. So I'll tell you, just like I told somebody else who was here a few minutes ago, we had a really good discussion during that first hour. And if you haven't or don't know, you can watch the replay. But Justin, who is a Patreon subscriber, asked a good question on Patreon, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna say I owe it to him, but I owe it to all of you guys. If he has a question, if he's got this question, then a lot other folks have that question too. And because of the fact that not only he had the question, other folks had the question, we talked about it. And I like to talk about things live before I do a dedicated video where it's like one-sided. The feedback that you guys give me, and the, you know, the helping me kind of get my thoughts together is awesome. Okay, it's definitely awesome. And you know, I'm very appreciative, and I'm glad I have this ability to be able to talk to you guys. But unfortunately, you know how I do. I get to talking and I'm talking about something and I'm like, what, squirrel? Wait, what were we talking about? So that first hour, I try to stay on track, and we did. We talked about it, and like getting started, how folks got started, and what direction they've gone in, and like I haven't done much talk about how to take it to the next level. But one of the things about getting started was business cards, and that's what we talked about during that first hour. So definitely appreciate those who had been here. So B says this was an awesome live stream. Well, I tried to make all of them awesome, and like I said earlier, I took a good nap right before the live stream started. So I'm like, I'm still talking. We're three and a quarter hours in. Yeah. Buy. I don't like making your own cards. Now you can make your own cards from card stock, but most of the time they're like perforated, and or you have to cut them out. And by the time you go through all of that, I tell you, Vistaprint is where I get my cards from, and I don't have they're obviously they're color, and they're a couple different colors, and the front is glossy, but on the back I have a matte finish. And the reason why I have information front and back is, one, because I'm getting more information out there, and two, so people don't use the back of my business card as a notepad. So I have other cards in my little, and I talked about this, my little card holder. And so of the cards that I have in my card holder, okay, so I have one from Alton, okay, he's got something on the back of his cards. I have one from Chef Johnny, he's got nothing on the back of his cards. Wayne Mueller, okay, who is from Louis Mueller's Barbecue, he's got something on the back of his cards. This guy works at the building next door to me. He's got nothing on the back of his cards, but this is his company gave him the and I'm gonna this is the AmVets, okay, and like I said, their company, their national headquarters is right next to where I work. And then this is the pastor at the church where I have I do my community meetings, and he's got something on the back of his card. So one of the things that I knew from jump when I was going to do my cards was I needed to have something on the back of my cards. All right. Yeah, Guns and Barbecue, please do. The P.O. box is listed in the description. Cards are really cheap. Take your artwork to Office Depot, ready in 3 days. So Mubu says Staples is good too. Got 100 for $20. Vistaprint, you can get 500 for you can get 500 cards for like $50. And the first couple times you place orders, you can get that amount reduced. And of course, the more you buy, the cheaper it is. I think right now I'm paying about 2 to 3 cents per business card, and I'm ordering 2,500 cards at a time. But you gotta build up to that. Mimi says I think it's best to go with a pro for business cards, but I make my own stickers. She says it's much cheaper. All right, but so I use Sticker Mule for my stickers and Vistaprint for my business cards. Guns and Barbecue, please do send me a card for sure. William says Florence, South Carolina in the house. I look forward to Wednesday nights. Hello everyone. Always like the content. There is much respect from everyone. Well, thank you, William. I definitely appreciate that. Do we want to pre-smoke them and send them? I'm not in the States. Nothing is cheap here. Yeah. So that's probably why their cards are a little bit less. B says $50 is what I paid locally for gloss cards. So, gloss. So you see how the reflection is shining off the front, and the back it's matte. So, but just keep in mind when I'm talking about the 500 cards for like $50, that's with me printing with double-sided and having that gloss finish in the front and that matte finish in the back. Half a Snickers bar for $2.50. Yeah, Moo Boo, you're in the UK or are you in down under? I don't remember. My stickers I just got from Sticker Mule. Let me know what you think when you get them. Yeah, Saskatchewan. Oh, in the Great North. Oh, you are. You know there's. I won't say you're at a disadvantage, but I'm sure you probably can find someone to find or to do some business cards for you locally. I just like not that this quality can't be gotten from someone else, but it was one of those things where I bought business cards like on the cheap, again, in off of an ad or something like that, or Vistaprint. And well, actually, you know what it was? I used Vistaprint for something in the past, and I'm like, all right, my go-to was Vistaprint for business cards, and they've never disappointed. And so I've always just gone with Vistaprint. And I mean, again, I'm ordering business cards in bulk, so I'm paying way less than some of you guys who are buying 250 to 500 cards. I'm buying 2,500 cards. I'm saving a lot of money that way. Also, at the same time, I'm not just buying business cards randomly. I buy business cards when they're like 50% off. So, yeah. He's my neighbor in the next province. Yeah, Laura, sometimes it's kind of hard to keep track of where everybody is and from, where they're checking in from. So, no, I do not like the Colorado juice. Nope. Friggin', I don't like that. I agree with you, Mubu. Definitely. I do not like. Nope. Can't do it. Anyway, this is. I want to say thank you guys. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out. I think I'm going to end it. I got to get up in the morning and take my wife to get her second shot. So, you guys take great care. Thank you so very much. Hey, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button for me. Crap, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. You know what's funny? I sneezed on the live stream tonight more than I yawned, which is like a rarity. But yeah, if you haven't already hit that thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could hit that thumbs up button for me. And we will, we'll continue the catering discussion, the barbecue talk, and obviously we just, we will talk about any and everything else. And unfortunately, I don't have my laptop up, which is how I share the video for tomorrow. So I can't share the video while I'm still on my phone doing the video. So Mimi says, until next week, later everyone. John the Barbecue says, have a great night. Dash, thank you, sir. Right back at you. Mimi, same to you. Woo says, just be thankful it wasn't a combo fart sneak. Yeah, man. Grumpus has been a good one tonight. Good night, y'all. Mubu, there's nothing worse, sharding. Nothing worse. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, and if I can copy the link and post it into the chat, I'll try. I can't guarantee you anything just because it doesn't always work. Sometimes I kind of get locked out. Terry says, later all. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end off. I'm trying to do this quickly. All right, end the live. Copy the URL for the video for tomorrow so you guys who are here can watch it tonight. and I will get it in the chat. So thank you guys so very much again. I'll see you next week.